I'm sorry. I was trying to play dead like AEW's ratings.
Jesus. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, we're off to a stellar start.
Hi, welcome to episode 109 of White Heat.
Jesus.
I'm Brian. That's JJ. So the studio room you used to see me in got refurbished into an extra bedroom in my apartment. So I decided to make good use of the bed by pretend to be AEW's dead TV ratings. Hi, everyone. That, and I decided to be nice to my brother, let him play COD in peace instead of telling him to relocate and go in his room and lock himself in his bedroom for 3 hours. So I'm a nice brother. Mr. Alexander, how are you?
I'm alive.
Another day above ground, always good. Always good.
Yeah, just family drama that I don't want to deal with and physical therapy and all that nonsense.
Yeah, nobody likes family drama, but unfortunately, we all gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
That all being said, lot of shit to comb through.
Uh-huh.
So let's get the not minor, but let's get the overseas bullshit out of the way. Let's begin with New Japan.
All right.
So, now the show wasn't overseas; it was in San Jose, but it's still New Japan sponsored.
Yeah, that's right. Battle in the Valley.
So, Battle in the Valley was on Saturday night in San Jose. Two kickoff matches saw Matt Vandergriff beat Goldie and Stephanie Vaquer from CMLL defeat Viva Van. Shota Umino and Royce Isaacs in the 6-man tag match that opened the show. Umino's teammates were Fred Rosser and Jacob Fatu. Isaacs was on Team Filthy with Tom Lawler and Terrell Nelson. Then after the match, well, yeah. So Jack Perry jumped Shota Umino after the match. Hops in the ring, looking homeless in a leather jacket and a beard.
He looks like a 12-year-old who found a beard and some spirit gum in a props tank, in a props trunk.
Pulls out his AEW contract and rips up in the ring. So
yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah, that really isn't how it works. So I don't fucking know. Quite honestly, I don't know if I even fucking care, really.
What I find hilarious is there's people like, yeah, I think this is a work. Yeah, no shit, it's a work. Like,
what was their first hint?
Like, I people are like, oh no, he really could have been really. No, like, everything about it was stupid. Like, everyone knows that AEW and New Japan are in bed together. Like, that's nothing new. Like, there were AEW people on this show.
Right.
And then the like, oh, I'm going to rip up my contract with a giant AEW logo on the top of it. Like, that's not how contracts look.
No.
And then the whole armband with a scapegoat. I'm just like, for fuck's sake, can we just leave this alone?
No.
Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nope,
Nobody.
Can't leave it alone. Nope. Moving
and
on.
Apparently, one of the security guards almost took him down because they didn't realize he was a wrestler.
Correct.
So that's just wonderful.
Then moving on to the CMLL tag match on a New Japan card. Volador Jr. Mascara Dorada defeated Rocky Romero and Sobrano Jr. Wow, how refreshing. A Canadian story actually won a match. Good for Volador Jr. Then in singles action, David Finlay beat TJP.
Yay.
Strong upweight tag titles, Hikuleo and El Phantasmo successfully defend them against Clark Connors and Alex Coughlin. Julian successfully defended her New Japan Strong Women's title over Trish Adora.
Yeah, kind of. So she's still sticking around for a little bit.
Yep. So going into this tag match, we did not know Matt Riddle's tag partner.
Oh, but it's okay because they ruined it for the home viewing audience.
Right, because he came out first, and then the fucktards in the truck decided to put Jeff Cobb's nameplate on
I
the
actually
lower
have
third
the graphic somewhere here.
under Matt Riddle. Yeah.
Where the fuck is it? I had it.
You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked
Apparently,
up.
because I uploaded it and it's not here.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it showed Matt Riddle standing on the turnbuckle, and underneath it said Jeff Cobb. But yeah.
But they end up beating Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito. Of course, Bad Dude Tito is the one who took the pin because ZSJ would never put his shoulders down.
Mm-hmm.
We had a double count out in the AEW Continental match between Eddie Kingston and Gabe Kidd. No
For
DQ.
reasons. Like, you can't even make the champion look strong in his first defense.
No.
Like, I mean, first defense outside of AEW, but yeah.
Right. No DQ match. Moxley beats Shingo Takagi.
Yippity yay.
And then the main event, Okada beats Ospreay in what is Ospreay's final singles match in New Japan. He obviously still has that 5-on-5 cage match of horrors coming up.
For now, until he shows up on fucking Wrestle Kingdom next year as part of AEW.
Right. So the next big show coming up for New Japan is... Oh, before I do that, another note from the show in San Jose. There was a promo video played during the show. So Mustafa Ali is deciding to take advantage of it being an election year. And he's going with the whole Ali 2024 thing. And in Ali, I feel like we've seen this before. Didn't he do this shit when he was in WWE in 2020?
I'm almost positive he did.
Yeah. So he challenges Takahashi for the Chicago show that's coming up in April. So that's been booked.
Yeah, I saw some false fucking narrative this morning trying to say that that Ali is the, as far as indies signing ex-WWE talents, he has been the biggest draw ever as far as like fans buying advance tickets for shows for indies that he's on, which I call complete bullshit on.
I call bullshit on that too.
Like, just because, like, apparently the Chicago show already has a decent pre-sale, and I think AIW has like a halfway decent pre-sale for the show they booked him on. Like, so they're like, he's the biggest draw on the indies. Like, no, he fucking isn't.
Right. So New Japan has a big show in Nagoya coming up on Saturday. Opening match is going to be Hama and Shota Umino against Ren Narita and Yujiro Takahashi. Then we're going to have... Is this the cage match? No. Yes. Oh, no. Sorry, the cage match is until next month. My apologies. But there's still going to be a 5-on-5 cage match, not cage match, tag match between United Empire and Bullet Club War Dogs. Because, sure, fuck it, why not? Let's just have another schmoz. Third match is going to be Master Wato and El Desperado against Sho and Kanemaru. 8-man tag action. Basically, your never openweight 6-man tag champs and Makabe. By the way,
Makabe.
The 6-man tag champs, by the way, are Okada, Tanahashi, and Ishii. They're going to take on TMDK, Fujita, Hayes, Nichols, and ZSJ.
Yay.
10-man tag action, Wilson Gobernador Stay Hapon, which is Bushi, Takahashi, Tsuji, Takagi, and the heavyweight champ Naito. Taking on just 5 guys, which is Taka, Doki, Uemura, Taichi, and Sonata. The KOPW match, Ishimori defending against Great Okan in 10-minute Ishimori ring fit match. 10 minutes to be on the clock. Last title holder at the end of the time limit is the victor. At 3-minute intervals, the two must stop for 30 seconds of high-intensity circuit training.
What the fuck?
I don't fucking know what to tell you. I don't know. Hikuleo and El Phantasmo take on Chase Owens and Kenta in the semi-main. And then the main event is Tama Tonga defending the openweight title against Evil.
Against Evil, yeah.
Yes.
Which is probably when he's going to drop it because his contract's up.
Because rumors. Yeah. There was another match, I think, that was added to that Chicago show that I'm missing. So bear with me for
Ali
a
and
second.
Takahashi.
I already mentioned that.
Oh, you mentioned
there was
that. Okay.
there was another one. Maybe even two. I can't remember off the top of my head. So now I need to go through the New Japan website for a hot second and find Windy City Riot in their schedule. By the way, New Japan Cup has been announced for March 7th through the 20th. FYI. Windy City Riot, Friday, April 12th. Here we go. Survey says, Moxley versus Naito. That's the other match I was thinking of.
Yay.
Yeah, they announced that at the San Jose show as well. So that, my friends, is New Japan in a nutshell. All right. TNA. Interesting. I'll just put it that way. Hard to Kill results pre-show. Yeah, this was pre-show, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right?
They actually did a decent draw. I think the gate was close to
they even
1900.
added seats, I think, a day before the show.
Yeah, they did. They opened up like half a section in the upper bowl because originally it wasn't open at all.
Right.
But yeah, they did close to 1900 as far as I can see, which for an Impact show is nice because they usually they've been running at arenas where the arenas max out at around 1200.
Correct. So the opening match of the pre-show for Hard to Kill, Steve Macklin beats Rich Swann.
You gotta love how just a few months ago Steve Macklin was the Impact fucking heavyweight champion, and now he's in the pre-show.
Well, Rich Swann was a former world champ too, so
I know, but it's been a while since Swann was champ. But this just shows how Macklin just got shoved down. They're like, yeah, this was a mistake.
Then they have a promo segment backstage with the group that's now calling themselves The System.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce, Eddie, and Alicia Edwards. And they're also joined by former NFL running back D'Angelo Williams.
Yep.
Interesting. I wonder if D'Lo's going to stick around or if it was just a one-off. We had DJ Who Kid and AJ Francis debuting their music video for Way Outside.
Ridiculous.
Was then interrupted by Joe Hendry with his own music video poking fun at AJ Francis. And then Francis laid him out with a choke slam.
Waste of money, TNA. Waste of money.
They had 3 matches in the pre-show and that segment. Interesting.
Yeah.
Second pre-show match was, bear with me, tag team match. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, who I guess Brian Myers is also in the System.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Moose, Eddie, Alicia, and Myers. Yeah.
Oh, I guess Myers either wasn't in the promo segment or they just forgot to mention him.
He was getting ready for his match.
So was Eddie, technically. Anyways, they beat Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the last pre-show match, Crazy Steve beats Tommy Dreamer to become the new digital media champion.
Great value and oddity.
I mean, would you prefer that or 50-plus-year-old carrying the belt?
I mean, it's the pre-show title. It shouldn't exist as it is.
Still.
Like the fact that they have that's one title they should have just done away with the rebrand.
So before the show went on the air, it was announced the night before that Trent Seven had to be replaced due to travel issues because weather was fucking crazy. If any of you were living on the East Coast, y'all know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So he was replaced by Laredo Kid to team with Mike Bailey in the 4-way tag title match,
which actually probably worked better as far as like the way Bailey works. Having him in Laredo tag is a little more fluid than him and Trent Seven.
So they open the show with a Knockouts Ultimate X match, and Giselle Shaw ends up beating the one that retrieves the X to win the match.
That was that was a decent surprise. I mean, she's really worked in the past year to, improve. So
Correct.
I'm not chalking it up to nepotism.
In the end of the match, she ended up fighting off the original Ultimate Knockouts Ultimate X winner Tasha Steelz and Danny Luna in order to retrieve the X.
Mm-hmm.
And
And apparently everyone was super Zaya Brookside got like a huge response from the crowd.
And Zaya actually ends up being announced as an officially signed member of the TNA roster by the end of the night. So good for her. Good to see she's found a landing spot.
Mm-hmm.
Then they show, I don't know, they catch up with Who Kid and Francis backstage. Who cares?
Backstage, and it was literally like the lobby in like the casino. Like you could see like the windows to the arena. Like they were in it wasn't even backstage.
Yeah.
It was bad. Like I was like, bro, you know better than this.
PCO ends up beating Dirty Dango by DQ after Alpha Bravo gets involved.
Mm-hmm. And it was nice how they gave PCO the full PCO entrance with like the Dr. Frankenstein bringing him back to life on the gurney and shit. Like,
yes,
it was good. It was it had that old TNA feel.
So after the match, it was a 3-on-1 attack, and then Rhino came in to help PCO.
Let's put the old guys together.
And then Santina Morella said
they ain't gonna go down like this.
He came out and made a 6-man tag and had Jake Something join Rhino and PCO.
Yep.
And they eventually go over on Dango, Prudius, and Alpha Bravo.
Which was okay, because it's like, okay, we get this big shuffle up, and okay, we still get a match, but then it's like Jake Something was the guy that gets the pin. Like, he had nothing to do with the program at all.
Right. Then they show somebody showing up in a limousine, but we don't know who it is. Knockouts tag titles: MK Ultra, Master Slamovich, and Killer Kelly. They defeat Rosemary and Havoc to become the new Knockouts tag champs.
Rosemary and Havoc are back to being Decay completely.
Correct. Wait a minute. I think they wrote that wrong.
Yeah, no, Rosemary and Havoc won the tag belts.
Yeah, they wrote that backwards. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
Havoc and Rosemary won the match. My apologies. They became the new tag champs, yes.
Right.
Then TNA has like a pre-tape announcing their partnership with NFI Alumni Health.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Steve Macklin backstage interview. Then D'Amore and Lucha Libre AAA CEO Dorian Joaquin Roldan Pena announced a new partnership that's basically really an extension of the current partnership between the two companies. 3-way X Division title match. Sabin ends up retaining over Kushida and El Hijo de Vikingo as Sabin hits the cradle shock on Kushida to get the pinfall.
Yep, and they did the announcement about AAA right before that, so they could go, here comes Vikingo out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Josh Alexander gets Alexander Hammerstone. Hammerstone hits a Death Valley driver on the apron, followed by a TKO, but only gets a 2 count. Then Alexander hits the C4 spike and defeats Hammerstone.
I had an issue with this match because Hammerstone hits an extreme amount of finishers, because he did the Death Valley driver, he did the Doomsday Pendulum, he fucking Nightmare Pendulum. Like, basically Hammerstone, like, Alexander kicked out of like 4 or 5 finishers, and then 1 C4 spike puts away Hammerstone. Like, I'm sorry, but when I saw Alexander win the title, it took 2 or 3 C4 spikes to put Moose away. Hammerstone just gets pinned after 1.
Bad creative.
Bad creative. And apparently Hammerstone's not signed to a full contract. He was just there for a cup of coffee.
Gotcha.
So here's hoping that he's on his way to Florida.
Right. 4-way tag match for the tag titles. ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, they successfully defend against the Rascals, Grizzled Young Vets, and Bailey and Laredo Kid. ABC gets the win by pinning Trey Miguel.
Mm-hmm. And Grizzly Young Vets are officially signed to TNA.
Speaking of officially signed to TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I have no clue.
For those of you who may not recognize her,
because she has facial reconstruction every 6 months.
That is the artist formerly known as Dana Brooke from WWE. Why? Just why?
I don't get it. Like, and people are like, "Oh, WWE never gave her a chance." Oh, blah blah. No, she was the drizzling shits. She always was. She was a Vince signing. She was a fucking fitness model that could do a cartwheel, and Vince thought he had the next Trish Stratus on his hands. No, she was awful.
On top of that, this is a Knockouts roster that really doesn't need her.
I feel like it was D'Amore being like, "Oh, well, we're losing one ex-WWE talent. Let's just plug and play a different one." And no.
They already had that, though. Well, we'll get to that later.
I know.
So then we get to the Knockouts title match. Jordan Grace hits the Juggernaut Driver and pins Trinity, become the new champ.
Get the sign of respect afterwards.
Yes, and this was not Trinity's last official appearance. She was at tapings the next day.
And she's at tapings this upcoming weekend.
Correct, down in Orlando. So we'll see. We'll see. My guess at this point, if I had to assume anything, she makes an appearance at the Rumble.
Possibly.
But doesn't sign anything and make her official return till probably night after Mania.
That's probably. And I mean, it wouldn't be that hard because she's working Impact tapings that weekend, but they're in Florida, so it's a hop, skip, and a jump over to the Rumble.
Tampa. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it's in the Tampa St. Petersburg area this year. So
right.
Yeah, nice and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Christ, Rumble's next weekend.
Wow. I know.
Sorry, making the conclusions here. Main event time. I know you're excited about this finish.
I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it. So
let me run through this whole finish. Because it felt like I had on a hat to get to this finish, but okay. So Moose delivers a power bomb to Shelley after getting out of the Border City stretch. Only gets a 2 count. Shelley hits sliced bread near fall. Then the rest of the system comes out to ringside, which would be D'Lo, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers. But then Sabin and Kushida come down to fight them off. But back in the ring, Moose counters Shell Shock into a spear. Moose gets the pin, becomes a new TNA World Champ.
Ridiculous.
After the match, this is what I'm referring to when I mentioned you already had the ex-WWE talent.
No.
Nick Nemeth hits the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Goes face-to-face with Moose, delivers a super kick, then takes him out in the middle of the ring.
With the zigzag or whatever the fuck they're going to call it now.
Right. Nemeth then escapes into the crowd, gets like about, I don't know, a third of the way up of a lower level section that was directly across from hard cam, rips off whatever old school rock and roll shirt he was fucking wearing. I can't remember. I want to say it was a GNR shirt. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
And reveals a TNA shirt underneath. So Nick Nemeth is TNA.
Which, good for him. You're going into this rebrand and you want to do it strong. Like, the worst thing you could do is put your title on Moose. Like, I don't care what everyone says, like, oh, blah, 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 he's gotten better. He's still the fucking shits. And on top of it, he's a fucking abuser. He's gotten arrested for domestic abuse. Like, all of these people that want to fucking hem and haw on shit like the domestic thing that happened between Austin and Deborah 20 fucking years ago are the same people who are like, oh, it's okay that Moose is a champion. No, this motherfucker actually did time for it. He should not be the figurehead for your fucking company. And Scott D'Amore knows better. And plus, I'm sorry, but Nemeth and Shelley would have been a way better fucking title program.
Well, yeah. We know that. Unless Scott's just using Moose as a transitional champ to get to Nemeth.
Why do that, though? Like, they already had Shelley semi-healing it as it was. You could have just had him go full heel. I'm not a fan. I am not a fucking fan.
I've got nothing for you on that. I'm just giving you guesses. I don't know. I don't see, because obviously they're setting themselves up with this to have Nick go after the belt, so I don't see them. That's why I say transition champ. I just think that's the end goal here. I just don't know where you go from there though afterwards.
Yeah.
But as far as TV tonight for Impact,
I've got a couple of things here for that.
They've got Nemeth is going to apparently get on the mic. We're going to get Alexander Ospreay 2.
Yes, that's the main event.
Going to have an X Division scramble. Kushida, Trey Miguel, Laredo Kid, Mike Bailey, El Hijo, Del Vikingo, and Jake something. Let me see if...
We also got this.
Yes, we'll see. Yes, Grizzly Young Vets gets Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. Doesn't say, by the way, if the winner of the scramble is getting an X Division title shot, but I'm assuming it would put them in the general vicinity of a title shot.
Yep. And they also announced the date and the venue for Sacrifice.
Yes, Windsor, Ontario. And the gate, I don't have the exact number from me, but if I remember correctly, it was the highest gate for TNA in like 8-9 years, something like that.
Yeah, it was their highest. It was their highest gate in 8 or 9 years, and then the day after the TV taping was their highest gate for an Impact TV taping ever.
So somebody's doing something right.
Right, as long as they don't get too big for the britches and stay with those smaller venues, and continue to if they continue on this trend, and they put out a quality product, then it'll make it a destination, so people will pre-buy tickets early and walk up. They'll have to turn people away at the door till they'll get to that fever pitch where they'll build up to the next tier of arenas, and just work that way and stay in your margin to stay profitable. One other thing though that needed to mention, and I thought I had saved this, but apparently I didn't. For those people that don't have Access TV, there is a way to be able to view Impact without getting Impact Plus. There's a lower tier. You can go on their YouTube channel and become an Impact Insider, which is only 99 cents a month, and you get to view Impact, and it comes up a half hour after it airs on Access. So it's only a 30-minute delay after it airs on TV.
Correct.
So for those of you that don't get access, that's a hell of a deal. It's a fucking $1.
Yeah. So basically, just stay off the internet for the first half hour of the show and just watch it on a half-hour delay, because it starts at 8:30 on YouTube. So there you go.
Right.
Which is actually something they actually plug in the preview on the website page for tonight's show. So
because they're smart.
And then one other match, by the way, that we did not mention that has been booked for tonight already. Zaya Brookside will face Tasha Steelz in one-on-one action.
And they announced one other show too. No Surrender Bayou Blast. Yep.
So obviously it looks like they are going back to
Louisiana.
Well, I mean, they always had a monthly model. It was just a matter of which ones were Impact Plus only and which ones were actually pay-per-views. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they live by the same.
Right, because the way it seems here, they're back-to-back days, so I feel like one's going to be a pay-per-view and the other one's going to be one of those one-off pre-tapes like
Well,
they
right,
used
but
to
I'm
do.
just saying, like, not all of their big monthly events were necessarily. Yeah, like, see, so No Surrender is being labeled as just a TNA Plus show. It's not going to be a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then Sacrifice is also just TNA Plus in March. Then they come to Philly for just random tapings at the end of March, the 22nd and 23rd. So whatever their special show in April is, I'm assuming that's going to be their next actual pay-per-view per se. Not just an Impact Plus or a TNA Plus show, excuse me.
Yes.
So that's where we stand with that. So all in all, business-wise, not factoring in the creative, just business-wise.
Yeah.
Scott and company has them definitely pointed in the proper direction.
Yes.
It's just a matter of, again, like you said, to reinforce what happened to this company years ago under a certain person named Dixie Carter and other people named Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan. Don't go beyond your means, basically.
Yes. Stay in your lane.
You would think people would have learned by now what Jim Crockett failed on doing. The famous quote I always remember is from the JCP documentary on the WWE Network. The famous quote I remember from Ric Flair is, "If he had just stayed between Baltimore and Chicago, he'd still be alive today."
Yeah.
Don't pull a Tony Khan and go to arenas that are 5 times bigger than what you should be running.
I got to talk about that later.
Stay within the maybe once a year for your biggest show, whatever you may do. I guess it'll still be Bound for Glory technically for them.
Right? No, Victory Road is the anniversary, I thought.
Okay, yes, Victory Road. Maybe for your anniversary show every year, you can, try like a 5,000 seater. But generally speaking,
right,
you probably want to stay in that 2 to 3K range.
Right.
Month to month for your big shows.
What I could see them doing is, the one thing I could see them doing is, depending on where they land, if they run something Mania weekend, if they can get a big enough arena, like they could run a bigger arena for their multiverse of matches thing. I think that would be a draw to be able to pack in more than your standard 1,000 people.
Yeah, that's fine too. But yeah, just generally speaking, just stick with the road you're on right now.
Okay, before I get rage filled, can I refill my coffee?
Sure, because that'll allow me to pull up the one thing I did not pull up yet for the show. So go ahead. In the meantime, I'll pull this up. Hopefully I can find it easier than I found the card last week for this show. Is it really not even going to be on Wikipedia? Probably not. Why? Because this show sucked. So yeah. There's only 2 things I'm going to bring up, so bear with me in a second. Trying to find, where is this? I really don't know why I can't find what I'm looking for. Apparently, want to make this impossible for me. Well, that's good. That's a good picture. Yeah. I hate this shit. I hate this shit. I just love how this is just... I can't figure this out. I'm just trying to figure out why I can't find results for this show. Trying to find. See if on the show. This.
Rudy.
Why is it so fucking hard for me to find results from that NWA show over the weekend?
Oh yeah, there was an NWA show.
Yeah, like why is it so fucking hard? Hold on, still looking.
Smashing Pumpkins are looking for a guitarist.
Still fucking looking. Hang on.
Rudy.
They did announce that Hard to Kill was going to be in Alabama on March 2nd. I know that.
Yeah, we announced that last week.
But I can't fucking find. Like, I just want to fucking. Oh my God. Is it really going to be under the headline about just the fucking. Nope, that's from Power. Nope. Want Paranoia. Why is it so fucking hard?
That's what she said.
You're so funny. Is it going to be in here? Maybe, possibly. No. Yeah, no. No. Nope, that's just the card again. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe it'll be. I guess I'll have to go. Do I ever have to go to Cage Match to figure this out? No, it's not. The results aren't even fucking on here. You gotta be kidding me with this shit. All right, well, fuck them, I guess, cause I've tried everywhere and I can't fucking find results for this shit. But here's a couple of interesting things I just saw by scrolling through the NWA website quick. Number one, so they were touting how Black G's was going to return at this show, right?
I saw, yeah.
Here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see how Black G's got shot last week?
What?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I saw it like a couple hours after we recorded episode 108, and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's a problem." So I don't think he made it to the show. Just throwing it out there. He's fine,
I
but
hope so. Like, I like G. Jesus is a good dude. Like, shit, I didn't know about that.
Number two, the Birchall that I mentioned when I was previewing the card last week is the Birchall you were thinking of, by the way.
Paul, yeah.
Pursued life outside of wrestling for 5 years. Yeah, so that's that.
I remember when G said he was taking a step back. Like,
I took a step back into a bullet, apparently. Recovering after shooting attempted hijacking. It's even on the NWA website, actually.
Jesus.
Survived an attempted carjacking Thursday the 11th. So this was literally the night after we recorded, 7 p.m. in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Was in his vehicle, approached by 4 masked men. In the course of the incident, one of the assailants shot him in the hip, resulting in non-life-threatening injury. Black G's, who possesses a permit to carry a gun, used his legally registered firearm to defend himself and returned fire. Suspects fled the scene. Investigators currently reviewing surveillance footage for leads. He was taken to a local hospital and recovering. Spring 2023, he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma.
Yep.
And then he was about to make his comeback from that. Damn, that's crazy. That's some crazy shit, yo. Yeah. So,
Jesus.
I mean, it dropped that on you as like an oh, by the way, but I can't remember if I can't remember if I told you about that or not. So, you know, your show was bad, by the way, when you came and find evidence of it on your own fucking website. Just a heads up. There's zero evidence of paranoia even happening on their own website. So I don't fucking know what to tell you guys. So fuck it, I guess. I'm not even gonna bother. One thing I do want to bring up though just because I remember seeing news about it. Was it yesterday? Maybe. I'm trying to find the exact. No. Where are you? It's about Court Bauer. Please hold. Not Court Bauer. It's about MLW. It's a business thing. It's a good thing actually. I just can't remember the exact. Where are you? Where are you? Donde stop. Here we go. Nope. That's real. Nope. That was the other thing, but that's nothing special. MLW. Where are you? Where are you? Motherfucker. By the way, TNA announced a partnership with Star Times in Africa. I know I forgot to mention that.
What the fuck? I did an overlay for that too, and it's not here. What the fuck?
Let's expand their footprint on the TV side of things.
Yeah. Oh no, that's right. I put it in the run sheet. That was why. Yeah.
Yes, I saw in the run sheet, and then I just saw the headline for it again. Why can't I find? I know I saw this news. Let me just try to search for
I don't know if you saw that the former Elias has his first indie booking outside of WWE.
Oh God, where's that going to be?
Wrestling Revolver.
Okay. Against Mike Bailey. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, there it is. Here's the press release. I found the press release on the website. MLW as formed a partnership with Oceania Pro Wrestling. Oceania? I can't remember.
Oceania. Yep.
Which is based in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah.
So Court Bauer says, quote, "We're thrilled to team with them. Fans down under are some of the most passionate, and we can't wait to bring them something special as two organizations team up for some exciting opportunities."
This is not going to end well.
And the OPW owner, Cam Vale, said, "We have some exciting broadcasting announcements to come for 2024 that will involve MLW and OPW relationship. This is a truly unique partnership by two innovative wrestling companies to have OPW champions recognized by MLW as." So basically, they're pulling an NWA.
Yeah, they're basically
OPW is basically MLW Australia.
Yeah, basically, it's what'll happen.
Off.
What'll happen is they'll send a couple of MLW talents down there, and then these guys will send their champions up for like one or two MLW shows here, and that's all it's going to be. Like, no American wrestling company not named WWE ever does good business trying to get into Australia. Jeez. Australia is its own thing. Like, for fuck's sake. Remember, there was supposed to be the whatever happened to the whole shit with the New Japan model that was going to be in Australia and New Zealand. Like, they announced it, and then we ain't heard shit since. Like, it's.
I also think they were. I feel like they were putting the cart ahead of the horse, because I think at that point they were hoping Jay White was going to resign, but then Jay White goes and signs with AEW.
Exactly.
So yeah, they fucked that up.
Unless
maybe they put, and again, this is me stretching things a little bit. Is there anybody else? I mean, Ospreay's signed to AEW, so that doesn't help. Who the fuck? I'm trying to think of who else would be based out of the Australia, New Zealand area that New Japan could even think about. I can't think of anyone.
TMDK.
You're gonna trust them to run the fucking promotion for you?
No. No.
That's my point. Thank you very much. All right. Ready? Let's begin with the show. I'm assuming you didn't watch. Let's begin with Rampage. By the way, we're going to end this AEW Ring of Honor segment with a hypothetical scenario that I thought of.
Okay.
that we could envision. I can't imagine it being much different than what's already happened, but we'll envision it anyways. Rampage Homecoming, which is a tape that Daly's placed the same night as that horrible Dynamite with the horrible camera angles and horrible.
Yep.
Opening match was Eddie defending the Continental Crown successfully against Wheeler Yuta. Eddie wins with a Northern Lights bomb for the 3 count. Then we get Renee Paquette interviewing the Hardys and Mark Briscoe backstage. Why would Jeff brag
They
about
said they're going
Rampage?
for the trios belts.
Why would Jeff brag about Rampage beating Collision in the ratings? Like, why?
Because the whole thing is they're not putting the Hardys on Dynamite or Collision. So the Hardys are turning heel, and they're doing it by talking shit about the rest of the company.
That makes fucking sense.
So they're basically trying to claim that they're the ratings draw on Rampage.
That Jesus fuck. Oh God, fuck me.
It's awful.
Matt then calls the Hardys living legends, gives Briscoe a Hardy necklace. Oh, that's good. Let's belittle the Briscoes. That's cool. Say they come for the trios titles. That's just nice. I bet Jay is rolling over in his grave. Swerve beats Matt Sydal. Shocker. Top Flight and Action Andretti are interviewed backstage. They're interrupted by Private Party. Mark and Isaiah challenge any two of them to a match anytime, anywhere. Yeah, sure.
So that's why we had Private Party versus Top Flight last night.
Great. Hikaru Shida beats Queen Aminata. Then
Aminata going to get a single win on TV.
Right. Then Renee is interviewing Ruby and Soraya backstage. Soraya wishes Ruby a happy birthday, but then shows a video of Harley Cameron kissing Angelo Parker.
Because reasons.
So Soraya apologizes. Angelo walks in with a cake for Ruby. Then Ruby pushes the cake in Angelo's face, obviously for reasons.
Because we got to do a cake in the face segment, because that's ratings.
And Soraya gloats to Angelo how she always wins, but then Angelo pushes the remote to continue the video and shows that Harley was actually forcing herself onto Angelo for the kiss. So great.
I don't even want to open up that fucking can of worms on why that's so fucking wrong on so many levels, especially with what's going on in AEW right now.
Yeah.
Like, whoever fucking approved that segment needs to be fired immediately.
Then the main event was a 6-man tag where the Dark Order, represented by Evil Uno, Silver, and Reynolds, beat Hager, Daddy Magic, and Angelo Parker.
So the Dark Order were there. They just wouldn't let them on Dynamite.
Right. They couldn't be on the live show, but they could be on the pre-tape show.
That's an even bigger slap in the face for your whole milking Brody's death shit.
Oh, it gets better. Did you hear who was in their corner?
Was it -1?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised Tony isn't being petty about the fact that him and fucking Amanda were at fucking Mania last year in the front row.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we get to Collision. Did you watch Collision at all?
Fuck no.
Okay. So they ran back House of Black versus FTR to start off the show.
To start off the show?
Yep.
But according to my chart, that was the main event.
For
Collision.
Collision, January 13th. Yeah, this is what I have.
Oh, that's the 6th. Never mind. I've got the wrong one. Never mind.
So they kick off the show by running back House of Black versus FTR,
which was the main event the week before and the lowest drawing segment of the show. So yeah, let's just do it again.
Where the fuck is the finish? Hang on, I can't find the fucking finish.
Neither could they.
Buddy and Dax Harwood. Dax survived a pair of power bombs. Buddy kicked out of a pile driver. Brody and Malachi are beating up Garcia. Oh, was it a 6-man tag then?
Yeah, it was FTR and Garcia against the House of Black.
Gotcha. King causes distraction. Black hit the fucking Black Mass on Dash. Matthews hit the curb stomp, so House of Black gets the win. So now they're 1-1 against FTR, I guess you could call that. After the match, House of Black, what? They were talking shit to Daddy Magic, who was on commentary for the match. Sure.
Yeah, because every time Garcia's out there, Daddy Magic is on commentary.
Oh, right.
So this way, House of Black can get a squash match over fucking Daddy Magic, Parker, and Hager.
Great. Malachi delivered, I believe, I'm assuming he did that Black Mass again, this time to Magic. Then Garcia and FTR make the save with steel chairs, and then they hit a Shatter Machine on Brody.
So we're just going to keep running on this. And mind you, let me remind everyone, the booking team for Collision is Danielson, Will Washington, and Dax Harwood. So Dax is booking himself in this shit.
It's too much. Adam Copeland's open challenge was answered by Lee Moriarty. Adam
Once
wins.
again, who the fuck cares?
Adam wins. They take a quick commercial break. They come back. Oh, I'm sorry. No, there was a break in the match. I'm sorry.
The fact that there was a commercial break in that match is just a joke.
After Copeland wins, he talks shit about Christian Cage, basically. ROH 6-man tag title match. Cage and Gates of Agony retain over Archer and the Righteous. What's this? Hang on.
I still find it completely funny how you never see ROH title matches on ROH television, but they're on Collision and Dynamite and Rampage.
Yeah, the only titles I can remember being defended there have been
the women's
and the pure title. After the match, Mogul Embassy called out Bullet Club Gold for Dynamite. To which,
for reasons,
Gold accepts the challenge from backstage. Dustin Rhodes beats Bully Mack in the what the fuck booking of the weekend.
I don't get this. Number one, isn't Dustin supposed to be retiring in soon? The next 2 months? Yeah. He said months ago, this is his last year and he's only going to make it halfway through it.
Yep.
And on top of that, am I living in a different universe where literally 2 weeks ago, Dustin Rhodes got his leg shattered with a cinder block before a match?
Yes.
Was almost carried out.
Yes.
And since then, doesn't even have the slightest semblance of a limp.
Yes.
And is working more now than he was in the 6 months prior.
Yes. And he had a TNT title match this past last night.
I know.
Yeah. Because, shitting on the dead father is never a bad thing to do.
And quite literally, you can tell that these were spots that were supposed to be for Keith Lee, but because Keith said, I'm taking my ball and going home, instead of Tony figuring something else out with his stupid E-Fed booking, just plugs Dustin in because Dustin was his tag partner.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
Then we get Hangman beating JD Drake. Sure.
The match that nobody fucking asked for.
And Deanna beats Red Velvet in her Collision debut. Not her AEW debut, because she had been on Dynamite before. Unlike what Tony Khan would like to tell you, he wants to do revisionist history. No. Only Vince McMahon can do revisionist history. Okay? No. But Deanna beats Red Velvet, and then I believe she did not cut a promo here. Okay. Hook beats Kevin Matthews in 30 seconds.
Because we got to give him a win going into Wednesday. It's the Tony Khan booking system. If they're having a match on Wednesday, you got to give them a match on either Rampage or Collision where they win to go into it. It is the most fucking juvenile fucking E-Fed booking, and it amazes me how nobody else fucking sees it. It's the same shit every week.
Then they do a backstage interview with La Sex Pests for their street fight later in the night on Battle of the Belts.
Where they muted the crowd.
Preston Vance
Versus Pockets.
Was being interviewed for his international title match later on at Battle of the Belts. Roderick Strong interrupted, said he's looking for it. Sure. Okay, great. Oh yeah, I need Battle of the Belts, don't I? Son of a bitch. Oh, I have it right here. Okay. Yeah, so that's Collision. Battle of the Belts. They open the show with the street fight. Cool. Great. Big Bill and Ricky Starks retain over La Sex Pests.
Sammy Guevara did the fucking stupid ass fucking Shane McMahon spot. What?
He also did the golf cart fucking spot again.
They did the golf cart shit, and he did the Shane McMahon dive off of the fucking Tron. Like not even the dive, the fall. Which I'm sorry, but you're on free fucking TV, and you're not even on the flagship program. You're on the throwaway show that nobody fucking watches, and you're doing this dumb shit.
Takeshita made an appearance during this match. Will Hobbs makes an appearance. Great.
Because we're going to continue that fucking program, even though it should have been finished with that stupid fucking video game street fight a month or so ago.
How about it should have been done with all this shit about Jericho came out? How about that?
Well, yeah.
Then they show a vignette for Serena Deeb. Thank God, because, we don't have enough women in the fucking division.
Well, Serena Deeb's going to come back and make a huge impact for 2 matches, and then they're going to job her out to fucking Toni Storm, and then she's going to be gone again.
Because they have 35 fucking females to deal with on the roster. That's why. Julia Hart successfully retains the TBS title over Anna Jay. Afterwards, we have Sanjay Dutt trying to play mediator between Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. There was half comedy, half serious, because then Sanam Singh walks in with fucking treats from his just fucking stupid. Orange Cassidy retains the international title over Preston Vance. Yeah, that's your after the match. Roddy and the Kingdom surround Orange Cassidy in the ring. They end up knocking out Jose the assistant, and then Roddy and Orange just had a stare down. Okay, sure, whatever.
Okay, so before we go forward, there's something else that came out of the Collision Battle of the Belts night.
Okay.
I'm sure several people have seen this online. So, of course, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to preface this before I put it up by saying that this was shared by someone who has no reason to do clickbait nonsense.
What, the fact that Collision still only got 400K this past weekend?
Well, yeah, Collision got 400K and Battle of the Belts got 351K. So, yeah, have fun with that.
Wow, your hypothetically better matches for an hour didn't... Never mind. Go ahead.
Well, it's because there was no build and no advertising for it.
Still title matches. Yeah. Whatever.
No, we need to talk about this.
Yeah. So not this past weekend, the weekend before, when Collision was in Charlotte. Where was this again?
The Chartway Arena.
That doesn't help me. Okay.
So yeah, Charlotte.
Oh wait, no, that was for.
No, this is for this week. This is for Battle of the Belts. Yeah. Yeah, because the show schedule. Doors at 6, Ring of Honor at 7, Collision at 8, Battle of the Belts at 10. Right. Show ends at 11.
So let me see if I have a copy of this on my phone. I don't, so I'll just try to read off the screen. So basically,
I've got it zoomed on my end. So yeah, I can send this to you again so you can zoom in if you want.
I mean, it's just your normal shit that anybody working a show like security or whatever should know. Like,
it's a run sheet. Right. It's a run sheet that's put out by the venue. It's not put out by Tony Khan. That's what people don't seem to understand.
Right. It's basically about, like who's allowed access on the floor, who's not, what sections are like for special like clubs boxes and shit like that. Reserve seating, armband. I think wristbands are mentioned at one point, shit like that. And also they talk about like what personnel are allowed to wear in certain backstage areas, shit like that. But the important part is to go to the bottom.
I just sent it to you on your phone so you can zoom in on it.
But I mean, really, the top 90% nobody really gives a shit about. It's the bottom 10%.
Yeah.
So the bottom 10% would be the section labeled sign policy, which reads: signs are permitted. No profanity, graphic images, oversized derogatory signs, no blank signs. Why no blank signs needs to be highlighted in yellow? I have no fucking clue, because who gives a shit about blank signs?
The whole thing with, and I could tell you this from event management, all that shit, and do it. The problem with blank signs is all you need is someone to come in with a blank sign and someone with them, like having a female counterpoint that's got a purse to have a couple of Sharpies hidden in it. And you can just make up any fucking sign you want on the spot and hold it up before security can get to you. That's why.
Fair. Okay. No sticks or poles. Okay. Sure. All right.
Just because it could be used as a weapon.
Then we get to the very bottom bullet points of the whole sheet. No signs mentioning the following. Number 1, Kylie Ray. Gee, I wonder why. Number 2, Chris Jericho in a negative light. It's like no NDA signs, no sex pest signs, whatever. And then the third bullet point being Chris Jericho and Kylie Ray. I don't know what I find more humorous. The fact that those signs are the only ones not allowed, or the fact that they don't know how to spell Jericho.
Well, I mean, you figure this was written up by the venue, so it was literally like it's literally some administrative assistant.
Hard.
It's an administrative assistant taking dictation over the phone and just typing it up really quick. So they missed a letter. Big deal. But the fact is, so this was shared by Brian Last, Jim Cornette's co-host. Brian doesn't share bullshit. Brian vets everything before he puts it up, which is why Brian doesn't do shit like this that often. But like the last time he did was when he actually, because he has a copy of the AEW handbook, and he put up scans of it. But like people are like, oh no, this is made up. Anyone with Microsoft Word could do this. Blah blah. So if you look at the top, and you look at all the info and everything on the right, it shows the MODs, which is the managers, the managers on site for it. The two names of the people there, like if you Google them and go to their LinkedIn, that's who are the fucking people in charge there. Like that's the actual people who work in the arena. Like it would take a shit ton of research and no life to put this together to make it look that legit.
Like, exclamation on no life, by the way.
Right. And like I said, if this had any semblance of being bullshit, Brian Last would have never shared it in the first place.
Correct.
Like the only other person who could have shared this where I would have undoubtedly not questioned it right off the bat, besides Brian, is Mike Johnson or Dave Shearer from PW Insider.
Right.
But everyone's like, oh, it's in the internet, it must be true. And then there were people making up fake ones for Raw and all this shit. And like, it just spiraled out of fucking nonsense. But it's this shit's not going away. And they need to realize that sooner than later. And really all of Tony's solution right now is to put Jericho on fucking Rampage so that he can doctor the crowd sound to try to hide what's going on. Like this isn't going away. And the more you try to pull this shit where you try to fucking sweep it under the rug, the more it's going to be noticed.
Correct. Well, nobody ever called Tony a genius, except maybe in his own mind.
The Help when he was growing up, because Daddy Shad said, you got to make my son feel like a special boy because he has no friends.
There's also another reason I'll add for why this is not going away anytime soon. And I don't know if I sent this to you. This help when you have shitheads like Glenn Gilberti fucking supporting him on Twitter.
Uh-oh. Did not see that.
So there was a Twitter account back on Monday evening that sent a tweet and tagged a few wrestlers in it after the fact. The tweet was, Jericho has hit rock bottom when not a single pro wrestler comes out to support him publicly.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Twitter account proceeded to tag Sammy Guevara, Lance Storm, Glenn Gilberti, Disco Inferno, if you don't remember. No.
Right.
And I don't know who else he tagged. I just saw that's where it cuts off on the retweet. So Glenn retweets and says, quote, I support I am Jericho. Nothing in my history with him can change that.
Which is really odd considering we're less than a month removed from Tony Khan calling him a fucking has-been and going off on him about criticizing AEW.
Glenn. No.
It's just like I keep seeing Diana Prince on Twitter supporting him, as being like, I know 100% for a fact that none of this is true because I know him. And I'm like, no, like there's been plenty of workers that I've worked with over the years who shit has come out afterwards. And I've been like, wow, you think you know someone? Like you can sit there and think that someone's a great person all you want. But when shit comes out, like you really can't just blindly blind friendship is it's not a good look.
No.
Walks like a duck and talks like a duck. Maybe you should realize why you keep hearing quack.
Right. All right. Dynamite.
Yeah.
So we open the show with the TNT title, Christian Cage defending against Dustin Rhodes.
No limp. And a whole bunch of interference.
So, spear, kill switch, then another kill switch, Cage retains. That's the ending, basically.
A whole bunch of fuckery. Christian trying to undo the turnbuckle in the corner, and Aubrey Ed being fucking distracted so that Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne can attack him on the outside.
Right.
Comes in, gets a spear, kill switch. Dustin kicks out. Then we get another kill switch and pin flat with no leg hook. Why did we need the second kill switch?
Reasons. You asked. Then we get Renee interviewing Strickland backstage.
I don't think Swerve should wear eye makeup.
Yeah, I don't know why he did it.
Not a fan. He doesn't need it.
No. Shane mentions how he didn't win the Continental Classic, but he's laser focused on becoming AEW World Champ. He's asked about Adam Page.
And basically says, I already beat you twice.
Yeah,
like, you're not a concern to me. And it just going back and thinking about this more and more. Wouldn't Strickland versus Joe look even more prominent if Strickland had won the Continental Classic and came out with 3 fucking bullshit belts, like the fucking new belt collector, and acted like King should have fucked Mountain? Wouldn't that be a better visual, considering those 3 belts mean jack shit right now?
You would think so.
Like, they literally could have had fucking Swerve win this shit and then go after Joe, either not beat Joe for the title and still have these belts, or beat Joe for the belt and go, these other ones I'm retiring. They don't mean jack shit. Ultimate heel move.
Win the belt. Beat everyone.
And then I retire the belt. Now you give me another belt.
Then come back from commercial. Renee is now interviewing Chris Jericho. Gee, this was to win like
yeah, they muted the crowd. That you could tell they just hit the mute button on the fuck because the crowd noise, like you see Renee on the screen and hear and then you hear mute immediately.
Yeah.
And then they slowly start turning up the crowd noise when Matt Sydal walks in, which Sydal just did the job on Rampage. So why are we going to have Jericho work Sydal on Rampage when Sydal just did the job?
Well, now we got Jericho versus Sydal booked for Rampage.
Right, that's what I just said. Of course, I did think this was funny.
Yes. Jesus Christ.
Who
wrote that?
That would be our good friend Marvin the Movie Monster from over at Tooneytown Wrestling.
Fucking Marvin, Jesus Christ. All right, then we get Orange Cassidy and Trent Barretta against Commander and Penta. Why
for
this
reasons?
Whatever. Commander goes for a big splash. Orange Cassidy breaks up the pin. Then, everybody's got to do something cool. And then Trent hits the Dude Buster on Commander to get the win.
After using the Psycho knee as a transitional move.
After the match,
you have Danielson on your fucking roster and you're using his finisher as a transitional move. I'd like to know what agent approved that. Oh, that's right. They don't fucking actually do that shit. Nobody watches each other's matches. Yeah, let's get after the match because I got a lot to say about this bullshit.
So after the match, Roddy and the Kingdom, they come to the ring. Roddy tells Orange to take his
take your glasses off.
Asks Orange why he was in a tag match tonight if he's such a fighting champion. Orange tells him he's got it right here, right now, but Roddy doesn't want the match right now. He wants it at Revolution. Okay. Saying he wants Orange spending every day knowing that he's just keeping his title warm for him.
Okay. Let's break this down for a second.
Okay.
Number one, Roddy's saying, oh, you're in a tag match. You're hiding something. Blah, blah. He just defended the title on Saturday.
Correct.
So it hasn't even been a week and he's defended the belt. So that goes right out the fucking window. Like they don't, and this is one of the reasons I've never liked Roddy because he has no psychology when it comes to promos. Like he doesn't. He fucking doesn't. He's got a shit attitude on life, but that's another story. So that gets knocked out first and foremost. Then Orange says, fine, I'll give it to you right here, right now. Any fucking heel worth their salt, especially one that's out there with backup next to him, would jump at that opportunity and fuck over the babyface and take that belt in a fucking heartbeat. No fucking real fucking heel would say, no, I want you in 6 weeks. It's the same bullshit that they just pulled with Joe and MJF, where Joe's like, no, I want you at your best. You're a fucking heel. Heels take shortcuts.
But Joe was trying to pretend
he was MJF's friend. What?
But Joe was trying to pretend he was MJF's friend.
Okay, fine. Put that out the barn. In this scenario, the heel should have been like, you just had a match. You're worn down. I've got 2 friends out here that can help me fuck you over. No, I want you in 6 weeks. Stupidity! Because fucking Tony Khan thinks that this is going to be a selling point for the pay-per-view.
Sure.
Nobody is paying $60 fucking to see Pockets versus Roderick Strong.
Why not? You probably would have paid $100 to see it if you went to PWG.
I wonder if they actually ever did that. They probably did.
Probably.
No, because because Before Roddy got signed, Pockets was still just doing Fire Ant. He wasn't doing Orange Cassidy that much, and he was only doing it for one-off Chikara shows. He wasn't doing it as a main character.
By the way, I just put on this hand sanitizer I had sitting here.
Uh
It's called iced cinnamon rolls.
huh. Now your hand smells like cookies.
I want to go make Pillsbury cinnamon rolls. Anywho's after okay, okay. Then we get Renee interviewing Hangman Page. Basically, the same thing as what Swerve said, except Hangman saying it about Swerve. And
Yep.
You get the point.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and classic. So same promo, basically reversed roles. Then we get to what I'm sure was your favorite part of the show. No? Yes? No? Mark Briscoe.
I feel so bad for Mark. I do. Like, here's Tony Khan milking someone's death for the second week in a row. Because, yes, it was the actual 1-year anniversary yesterday. And instead of giving Mark a match, doing something of that nature, they just have Mark come out with Jay's widow and his nieces to say, I miss my brother, and then play a music video that everyone's like, oh my God, this music video is amazing. It's the same music video that they played last year.
So he pulled a Jimmy Dugan. I smile, wave my little cap, and I did that. So when do I get paid?
Like, this just nails home that Mark Briscoe has been a singles guy on the roster in AEW for a year now, and they have done jack shit with him. Granted, he got hurt and was out for like a 2-month period, but still, they have done jack shit with him except make him a fucking comedy act, and that is a fucking shame. She should have got. I'm sorry, but the moment they decided to push him as a singles guy, they should have strapped a fucking rocket to him and put the goddamn ROH belt on him right off the fucking bat. And no one would have said boo.
Oh, well, the show only got better because then Renee has to interview the Young Bucks backstage. Or was it? No, I think it was on the ring, actually. I can't remember.
No, it was backstage. They were sitting in cheer. This whole fucking segment was...
So the Bucks will be called by their full God-given names of Nicholas and Matthew from now on, apparently. Because, they're born again, they're... Or they're just... No. Here's what it really is. They're using this match with Sting to make fun of him being a born again, I think is what...
Well, they're legit Jesus freaks, too.
Okay, then they're all fucking idiots. Okay.
Right.
Denies all allegations of temper tantrums.
They basically decided to use it as a method to be like, what rumors, blah, blah, blah. Like, basically trying to kayfabe around the brawl out still and all of the fucking shit about them having attitude.
Can I just fucking ask this question?
Yes. Why
the fuck are we still talking about this shit over a year later? Like, why does anyone fucking care anymore?
Because that's the last time the Bucks did anything of merit.
Who fucking cares?
Nobody, but the Bucks fucking live in their own fucking bubble.
But it's not just them. Like, the whole IWC and fucking Meltzer and fucking fuckface. What's his name?
Punk.
No, fucking Meltzer's circle jerk
Alvarez.
Friend. Yes. Like, nobody fucking cares. This was fucking...
But because of the fact that everyone has signed an NDA and we're never going to know the real story, they're going to milk this until the end of fucking time.
Fuck off. Move on. It's been almost 18 months.
I know.
It's been 5 months since Punk and Perry fought backstage in England. It's been like, move the fuck on. You don't see Jack Perry milking the shit out of this. Not that he could milk the shit out of anyone, but you get my point. Like,
well, I mean, he kind of is with the scapegoat shit now, but
fuck it. But it's not like he's openly coming out and doing well. At least not yet. We'll see, I guess. But like, it's
the level of immaturity that they have.
Cares?
I know. You and I know this, but this is the level of maturity that they present. They are man children. They have the thinnest fucking skin of any fucking wrestler I've ever fucking encountered. And I've met some fucking wrestlers that just they don't know when to fucking quit.
Dude.
I know.
I mean, not that Meltzer's anything more than a man-child or Alvarez, but like nobody gives a fuck anymore. Nobody with half a brain gives a fuck anymore.
I know.
Like, it's dumb. It's fucking dumb.
I know. And the thing is, they didn't even mention the brawl out. They basically took all of everything that they did the past couple of weeks to basically use all of this to allude to it. Which makes it worse.
Let's be real. Was it even really a fucking brawl, or was it just a bunch of pushing and shoving?
There was a bunch of pissing and shoving, and someone got bitten.
Oh God!
Apparently, one person got punched in the face.
I got bit by a 5-pound dog. Oh God! Like, fuck off.
No, they weren't bit by the dog. They were bitten by Ace Steel.
All right, so maybe you did get rabies. Okay, but
but yeah, they did that, and then they basically decided to use the talking about the challenge for this match, and basically they're trying to be Randy Orton now. They're going to rid AEW of all the legends.
I hope they clear that with Tony Khan, because that's kind of his. The fuck is the word I'm looking for? It's kind of what he has a hard on for, is signing
ex-WWE guys. Yeah, but no, the Bucks basically they said in the promo that they're the executive vice presidents and they're going to take this company by the reins and they are going to rid it of everything because they're the ones that built this company and they should be the focus of this company.
That's like Tony's kink, though. So
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Tony brings in the ex-WWE guy. They're big for a week and a half, and then they're doing nonsense that no one cares about.
Yep. You want to hear the funniest part of this?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're actually coming to their senses, but their approach to this, the way they're framing it, is the way AEW was hypothetically supposed to be built 5 years ago.
I get what you're saying, but the problem is,
I'm not trying to frame the Bucks as good guys here, not at all.
No. I get what you're saying.
I find the irony in this that they were part of the problem in encouraging Tony to go the way he's going with all these people getting signed, and now all of a sudden they want to play off this angle, whether it's actually what they believe or not, that, oh, fuck this mess, we want to bring things back to the way they should have been.
Right. And the problem is, it's like, okay, so you wanted to be the alternative originally and yada yada, but the problem is, and you can do that all you want. The problem is that no one wants that. Like, you already over cater to a fucking niche fucking audience that is getting smaller by the day. And now your focus is going to be to like hyper focus on that. It's going to end badly. You're muted, dude.
I knew that.
Okay.
Then we get the ROH 6-man tag title match, in which we get Bullet Club Gold becoming the new champs.
For reasons. And now everyone's all pissed off that Jay White's been relegated to Ring of Honor. I'm like, you think they're actually going to defend these belts in Ring of Honor? No. It's like I said, you never see these belts defended on Ring of Honor. You see them defended on Rampage and Collision, and when they want to do a title change on Dynamite. Like, it's so pointless. And really, like, they only did this, and I called this. Remember, I called this when they flipped Bullet Club Gold babyface a week ago, and I said, watch, they're gonna put the fucking ROH 6-man belts on them so they don't feud with the Acclaimed. But apparently every fucking basement goblin fucking fantasy bookers saying, oh, now they could have a match with the Acclaim where they unify the belts. You think that Tony is going to give up a fucking set of belts? Tony, Mr. I create new titles every year, is going to let some belts go away? That ain't happening.
Yeah.
Like you just gave them meaning, like one of the most meaningless titles over to these guys just to basically like keep Jay White happy, because Jay White's been used like shit since he signed full time. And supposedly people are like, oh, well, they had to take the belts off of them because Brian Cage is injured. Really? Brian Cage is injured? Because I've seen him working every fucking show for the past 3 weeks just fine. Not to mention, it's the Ring of Honor 6-man belts. No one's clamoring for those to be defended every 30 days.
Well,
and I have to keep going. But I need to find an old photo.
By the way, as a follow-up to this match, there was a digital exclusive promo recorded backstage by the Bang Bang Gang after winning the belts. They officially retired Cardboard Jay White.
Oh boy.
And they debuted Cardboard Juice Robinson.
Because he's injured for God knows how long.
As
Ridiculous.
Rock Card. Get it? Because it's cardboard, so it's
stupid.
I can't remember if they called it Rock Card Board Robinson, or I don't fucking remember what they call. I can't remember. I remember the Rock Card part. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, there's that. All right, what else we got here? After the match, by the way, the Acclaim came out to the stage, and okay, are they going to merge those belts? That'd be.
That's what I just said. No, they're not.
Sorry, I was looking up something. My bad. Anna J, Deonna Purrazzo, Tony Storm's on commentary. Why this match needed a commercial break to extend it, I don't know, but whatever. Deonna wins with a submission. Then Renee gets in the ring to interview Deonna. Deonna basically calls out Tony Storm for, yeah. Then Tony gets on Luther's shoulders. That was an interesting.
Because Tony was on commentary and needed to get out of there. And yeah.
And Tony got on the commentary table, and yeah, it was interesting. So he gets,
I'm just gonna say that and I'm not one to body shame, but Deonna Purrazzo needs to rethink her ring gear.
Okay.
Either that or needs to hit the gym a little more, because it was not flattering.
Maybe she can get some tips from Ash by Elegance.
Oh God, I'm so sick of hearing that shit. With people being like, "Oh, Ash by Elegance is a ripoff of Tony Storm." Why? Because they're both wearing fucking dresses. Like, give me a fucking break.
So Tony says her piece and then chucks a shoe at Deonna, and Deonna chucks it back, and then
yeah, because she did the whole chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe.
And then Mariah throws the shoe back at Deonna. Deonna just whatever, just fucking whatever.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Then we get Private Party against Top Flight. Private Party wins by cheating. They had a hand on the ropes. Then we get a video package of Darby and Sting and their title match against Big Bill and Ricky Starks. When the fuck is that? I don't know.
Who Darby and Sting against? Probably on Collision this week.
Fucking great. You have the picture you're looking for, or do you?
Oh yes, I have the picture.
Okay.
This is a flashback for some people. This is an inside joke, but yeah, this is my thoughts on the Ring of Honor 6-man belts.
Why did you have that?
Because I was on a show and one of the Ring of Honor 6-man champs was there and left the belt hanging around, and I took it and I said, fuck this belt and fuck the person who holds it.
Wait, hang on. Let me think about this. Now I got to think about the...
I'll give you a hint. They were booked on the first Ascension Pro Wrestling show and no-showed us so they could go sit in the crowd of a Ring of Honor show.
Now you really got to have me think about this. Wasn't Taven, right?
No.
The fuck? I gotta think
You're
about
close.
this. Bennett?
Nope.
You said close with Taven.
Who was the third person?
Taven. Bebe?
No.
I'm about to say, wait. Who the fuck
Taven
was...
and Bennett were the 6-man champs with...
Oh, fuck. Hang on. Don't tell me. Wasn't Lethal.
I love Jay to death. I would never do that to Jay.
Taven, Bennett. Who the fuck am I missing here? Not Cody. Not...
What happens when a horse breaks its leg? You got to shoot it.
Oh, that's not fucking helpful. Just tell me.
I just gave you the best hint of all.
What is it? I missed.
What I said, when a horse breaks its leg, you got to shoot it.
Hangman? No, not Hangman.
No.
Who?
Sassy Wild Horse.
What?
TK Orion.
Holy shit. That's how long it's been since I've heard that fucking name. I totally forgot that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Is he even wrestling anmore?
Hardly, because he burned bridges everywhere, and it was actually only a few months after I took that picture that I was in Philly when I got the text from Shell going, "Karma's a bitch," and it's the Ring of Honor show the night before where he did the dive and fucking broke both of his shins.
You fucking booked TK? Why do I not remember that?
Because he was supposed to be in the... You remember the opening match of the main card was a tag match?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a 6-man. It was supposed to be Torres, Scotty Wilde, and TK Orion versus Sweet Mooch and Billy King.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But Billy was hurt. And so we said, okay, well, we'll figure out a way to deal with this. But then TK just no-showed us.
Who was it again? Torres and who? Who was the third guy?
Scotty Wilde.
Oh, okay. Scotty Wilde working heel. That's an interesting choice. Anyways, that's not me critiquing you. I don't know. When you say Scotty, I don't think heel really. That's okay.
He can actually do it. He can actually pull it off when you give him the right motivation.
Yeah, and you don't book him as a fucking football player like he's fucking what's his face? Who's the douchebag?
It was Eric that did it. But dude, I could tell you stories about how I had to revamp that character from what Eric originally wanted it to be.
No. Oh, Mr. Touchdown. What the fuck's his name?
Oh yeah, fucking Mark Angel.
Yeah.
He's a piece. He's a sex pest. He's a piece of shit.
We've been there, talked about that. I'm well aware.
But yeah, remember when Eric rebranded Scotty as the varsity fucking player and shit?
Yeah, and Mecca was the cheerleader.
Yeah. That was after I revamped everything because what Eric wanted to do made no sense, and he wanted to change Scotty's complete fucking name.
Oh, that's great.
Scotty wanted to call it he wanted Scotty to be renamed Dusty Masterson.
Who?
Exactly. He was like, "Oh no, it's like we're gonna give him this collegiate gimmick, and it's gonna be based off. There was this guy named Masterson above." I was like, "Dude, nobody gives a fuck about history, and you can't take Scotty and change his whole fucking name."
Masterson. Okay.
Yeah, it was just I fought with Eric for fucking nights on end until I finally got him to agree. I'm like, "This is what we'll do. This is how we'll do it. I'll fucking tweak him." And luckily, Scotty, and and the thing was, Scotty was over as a babyface, and then one day Eric was like, "No, we're gonna flip him heel." I'm like,
Yep.
"Okay, fine." And so I worked with Scotty to make him a good heel.
So we have our main event, which you haven't talked about yet. I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm not even gonna bother. Just all I'm gonna say is Samoa Joe retains the AEW World Title over Hook, and I'll let you have the floor on it.
Okay, number one. The entrances for this match started at 9:46, and they said that they had already paid for a 5-minute overrun. So they were giving this segment 20 minutes.
Right, Hook, not Hook, fucking Tony tweeted that out. 3:53 in the afternoon that day. That the match will be commercial free. TBS is ready for an overrun tonight. It's possible tonight's show goes several minutes past the top of the hour. See you tonight. You may continue.
So we get the fucking entrance. Oh, and it's commercial free.
Yes.
There's no reason that this match should have been any longer than 4 fucking minutes.
Well,
And
yeah,
that's being generous. That's being fucking generous.
We know that.
So this match starts. Right off the bat, Hook comes out with a fucking flurry on Joe, and Joe sells it. Joe actually is like covering up and then like actually like fucking bumps. Like, no. This should be a squash match. You are literally more than twice the size of this fucking kid. Which, by the way, they announced Joe at 305 pounds.
No way.
No. Because you know something? I have gained weight since my cycle accident that I'm working off. And there is no way that Samoa Joe weighs less than me right now. So yeah, so you're more than twice the size of this kid. You're fucking selling for it, and then it's like, so then Joe comes back right off the bat. It should have been flurry and Joe just swatting him like a fly. That's all you had to fucking do. But no, Tony had something to prove because of the fact that everyone was doubting this match on Twitter. There's a reason they did, because no one was buying this. No one was buying this match. But we got to make Hook look strong. No, you see, and this is the difference between someone who knows how to book and someone who has booked e-feds. It's not even a fine line. There is a very divisive line in a match like this between making someone look strong and making the other person look weak. And Tony crossed that line. So we get bullshit. We get Gaga. Joe finally mounts an offense after a couple of minutes. They go to the outside. Hook does dive, yada, yada. Joe picks up Hook for a spinning Uranagi onto the announce table. You could tell they gimmicked the announce table because Hook had barely touched it and he got to the corner and Joe, like literally, it's a spinning Uranagi. You put the guy flat on the thing so when it collapses, it's fine. No, he literally put this kid right on the fucking edge on the corner of the table. So tap, table collapses, kid falls on it, but more so he's got the fucking crease of the fucking wood right in his back. Kid takes the fucking apron bump. Or what do you call it? Kid takes the fucking table bump. Then Joe picks him up and gives him the Kevin Owens power bomb onto the apron. Joe gets back in the ring. The doctor is outside on the floor. The on-site doctor talking to Hook. And right there, if you wanted to make Hook look quote unquote strong, you wanted to save face, you would have just had the doctor call off the match there. Would have been no harm, no foul. You could have literally, any booker worth their salt would have gone, all right, you know something, no one's going to buy this. So let's have him get the match called off right here. Because literally, Owens and Zayn, their title match in fucking NXT, could have done that finish. Could have done a couple of power bombs, and the ref says, nope, call it off. And it would have made Hook look like a fighter going down. And then if you want to, in 6 months to a year, revisit it. No. We got to have Hook. pop up at 9 because the ref's still counting while, like, you either have the doctor consoling him or you have the ref doing the 10 count. You can't do both. That's a hat on a hat. So what happens? The doctor's consoling, ref's counting. We get to 9. Hook pops up and rolls in the ring. Way to no sell. And then right away, thrown into the corner, put on, muscle buster. Kicks out at 1. At 1. Table bump, apron bump, muscle buster, kicks out at 1. That is the dumbest fucking thing you could do. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, you didn't obviously watch the match. There was more to that. Yeah, there was more to it than that. It was that fucking bad. Kicks out at 1. And then they pop up like it's nothing and they start running ropes. Like, the fuck? Kid should be dead. Like, literally, he shouldn't have kicked out. But no, kicks out at 1. Go back, blah, blah, blah. Hook fucking gets another flurry on Joe, and then boom, gets Joe in the fucking red rum. Brings Joe down. Joe flips over and puts him in the rear naked choke, which looked like the shittiest transition ever. Puts him in the choke. Raise the arm. 3, hooks out. Okay, fine. This match is over. Everyone's like, oh, it was an 8-minute match. No, it was longer than that, but still, it shouldn't have gone that long. But it's not done. It's not done. No. Because, okay, and this is why this kid doesn't belong on national TV. This kid should be working indie shows in front of 25 people right now because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. This kid doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Tony Khan doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And Samoa Joe should be fucking ashamed of himself for going along with this. Because this guy's been in the business 20 fucking years and obviously doesn't feel that he needs to protect it whatsoever. Joe gets his belt, raises it, gets out of the ring. Hook pops up. Not even passed out for 30 seconds. Not even. Hook pops up, starts yelling. Is that all you got? Remember, Hook's not supposed to talk. Hook's yelling. Is that all you got? Joe comes back in the ring. Hook doesn't even get a blind swing out, which if you're going to try to play this bit, you should at least have the kid staggering and try to swing and miss. Nope, nothing. Just Joe comes back in, picks him up like nothing. Boom. Another muscle buster. Joe gets out of the ring. Hook standing up again. Why? Standing up after a second fucking muscle buster. Double fucking birds. At which point, here comes Hangman Adam Page, comes running out. And swerves in the crowd with Nana. Why? Because we've got to push that agenda instead of just leave this alone. And this is what the overrun went to. Because the fucking match finished at 9:59. Fucking. And so we're camera cuts all over. There's Paige. Paige is in the ring with fucking Hook. And Joe looks around and Joe just goes, and walks away. So you made your monster heel champion in his first defense look like a total bitch. You made it look like, okay, you know his finisher, the one that fucking legit retired fucking TJ Wilson? Yeah, nope, this kid kicks out at 1. The choke, yep, kid's up right afterwards. Another muscle buster, nope, kid's right up. And then Joe, instead of being the monster who would have just annihilated this kid and would have annihilated Hangman Page, just goes, meh, and walks away. And I say this, and I put this out on Twitter last night because I couldn't fucking sleep. I was thinking about this. And I will fucking say this and try to prove me wrong. If fucking Dominic Mysterio took a table bump, an apron power bomb, and then a fucking F5 from Brock Lesnar and kicked out at 1, every fucking Tony Khan fucking filleting basement goblin would be talking mad shit about it for the next 5 fucking years, talking about how it makes no sense. But this was Hook showing fighting spirit. No, that is called hypocrisy.
Anything else you'd like to get off your chest before we move on?
I don't see how anyone and oh yeah, oh by the way, the cage match rating came out.
Do I want to ask what it was?
Oh, they did a side-by-side.
A side-by-side?
Yeah, they did a, what do you call it? That Kate, what do you call it? So like they did a comparison because there were, the 2 title matches this week, and apparently cage match is like the big fucking thing now, even though it's not. Yeah, hold on. I've got it here. So they did the side by side of Seth versus Jinder and Hook versus Joe.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm looking at this right now. So Seth versus Jinder. Now, mind you, remember I sent you the thing about cage match and how they started saying, you can't do this, whatever now, and all that shit.
Right.
Because like nobody cares about cage match, but for some reason it's becoming this thing. So the ratings for this week, the cage match ratings, they gave Jinder versus Seth an average of 4.57 out of 10, and Hook versus Joe 8.86. Literally had a debate with some fuck on Twitter who said that cage match is a trusted source because it's called using a sample audience. No, it's not. No, it's not. The same people that think that consists of sample audience are the same people that think focus groups are good for the fucking movie industry. Because one person in this focus group said that, and that represents X amount of the public. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't represent one fucking person. And let me see if I can zoom in on this. I want to see the ratings. I want to see how many people voted. Number of valid votes for the Jinder versus Seth match, 168. Valid votes for Hook versus Joe, 21. So 21 fucking people. That's the most asinine thing I've heard of. However, there is more nonsense from AEW this week besides this god-awful program. There's a few things we need to touch.
Okay.
So first off, as I'm sure some people know about the fuckery that went on last week between FTR and Eric Bischoff. So FTR were doing an interview with a radio program, and they were zooming in, and it's funny because if you this past week's episode of 83 Weeks, Bischoff actually watched the clips and responded to them. But basically, it was an interview with a guy named Jeff Snyder, and in it, the 2 quotes that were pulled out of it was Cash saying, "I think he's really mad that Tony wouldn't give him a job the few times he was there to collect the paycheck. Here comes bankruptcy number 4," which is a cheap shot. And Eric Bischoff actually talked about it. He's like, I mentioned my bankruptcies in my book. He's like, I had to file bankruptcy to reconsolidate in order to keep my land in Wyoming, because I had to pay property tax not only in Wyoming but in California on it because I had California residency or something at the time. He's like, yeah, I filed bankruptcy. I did the consolidation. I had 5 years to pay it back, and I did it in 2. So that's a nothing thing. Like, people file bankruptcy for different reasons. It doesn't necessarily mean you're broke. And then Dax said, I don't think Tony Khan gets the credit that he deserves because he afforded a lot of people a lot of jobs, a lot of income. I mean, when you look outside of AEW, you got all these old-time miserable podcasters like Eric Bischoff and some of the others who make a living just by going on their podcast and burying Tony and AEW when they know that AEW is a place where business is thriving. Yeah, no, business is not thriving. And Eric has done nothing but give constructive criticism and say, I like Tony Khan and I would like to see him succeed. But that doesn't matter. And then, of course, there was also the fact that he wants to talk about podcasters and blah, 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 and being bitter when, less than a year ago was when Dax had his podcast that lasted all of 2 months? And he literally said, a big fan of 83 Weeks, weekly download on my phone. I steal a lot of your podcast formulas. But all of a sudden, Eric's the fucking devil.
Right.
So,
Bischoff is the devil.
Right. And I actually listened to the whole fucking episode of 83 Weeks, which is hard for me because I fucking can't stand Conrad Thompson. But I listened to that whole episode, which shows that,
Something to wrestle with. Bruce, how are you?
I can't even listen to that show anymore.
Yeah.
I can't. I fucking can't. I cannot stand Conrad Thompson. I can't. But here's 2 notes about AEW that really need to be taken into consideration. And this is on the business side. So people are going to get really mad at me because I'm using logic. You know, we're coming up on an anniversary, right?
Go ahead. Okay.
We are a month away from it being a full year since AEW has hit 1 million viewers. A full year.
Okay.
But, ratings don't matter. And here's one thing that I need to mention. I mentioned it several times online, but I feel the need to have to reiterate it here and actually give proof. So don't mind me for a second. I'm gonna have to do a share screen. It's not a video, but I'm gonna need to do a share screen.
Okay.
Just so people get it in their fucking heads. Because when I saw that message, it said, "What do you think's the reason for AEW's declining ratings?" One person, well, actually more than one person, actually tried to pull out the whole less people have cable nowadays, more people are cutting cords. Here's the problem. This is an article from the Nielsen Ratings website.
From 6.5 years ago.
Right, July 2017. Hulu and YouTube viewing are now included in TV ratings. And on top of that, Sling, which I have, is counted towards Nielsen ratings too. You have to go into the options and physically opt out in order to not have your viewing count as ratings. This July 2017. We are excited to announce that viewing from Hulu and YouTube TV will now be measured and reported through digital and TV ratings, DTVR, contributing to the C3, C7 currency. DTVR launched in 2015 and provides a method of programmers and buyers by all account for viewers across desktop and mobile devices. DTVR combines the digital viewing of live, DVR, and on-demand TV with the traditional linear TV audience metrics, which will enable us to measure audiences watching linear TV through Hulu and YouTube video on desktops, tablets, and smartphones, whether it's a computer or mobile device. If a viewer watches a program on these services and sees the same commercials that ran when the program first aired on TV, we will be able to count their viewing into the program's standard TV ratings. And as long as this digital viewing occurs within the 3 to 7 day window, the viewing will contribute to the C3, C7 currency that media buyers and sellers transact in for advertising on TV. So right there in black and white, cord cutters count towards fucking Nielsen ratings and have for years. There is no argument otherwise. It is actually a more accurate metric now than it was 15 years ago. But people don't want to fucking accept that because it messes with their fucking view of everything. The other thing that I want to bring up about AEW, and this was actually it was a sound clip from the most recent Cornette podcast. It came out last night. Some numbers came out, and basically they it was about the attendance numbers for the TV tapings last year. So Brian, last year between Dynamite and Collision, and obviously Rampage, Ring of Honor, yada yada, there were 70 events that were for television recordings that were not pay-per-views.
Okay.
Of those 70 events, I'm going to give you a guess. I guessed close, but no cigar. Of those 70 events, how many do you think the attendance was above 50% of the standard capacity for wrestling in those arenas? Above half. How many out of 70?
Three.
Close. 2. And those 2 were the Nokia Arena at the beginning of the year, which is the Young Bucks homecoming, which was the match 7 of the best of 7 for the trios belts. That was at 65% capacity. And the other one was at the Wind Trust the week that Punk came back in Chicago, and that was at 52%. 2 events out of 70 did above half capacity. Can you even fathom how much money lost that is? Like, remember before we took our break how I showed you I did that spreadsheet and that was just for the first 5 months of the year? This far surpasses that.
I like to provide a hypothetical here. Because Tony is always painting sunshine and rainbows in his media scrums. Imagine if this business was running the same as it is now, but you swap out Tony Khan for Vince McMahon. Would Vince be painting sunshine and rainbows?
Fuck no. Vince would be taking the water coolers out of the office, cutting back on office supplies, doing everything possible like that 1 year.
What was that, 94, 93, something like that?
I think it was 95.
Whatever. Get my point?
But yeah, like, it's just they... And the thing is, like, they can't even pull the whole, like, we booked the arenas a year in advance bullshit anymore, because they knew that they were running at that bad of a fucking margin at June of last year. At that point, they should have started looking towards 2024 and been like, we need to book smaller arenas. But they're not.
Nope.
So when they don't get renewed, don't say we didn't tell you. And as far as the whole thing of Tony gives all these people a job, blah, 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 I've gone on record numerous times. I have several friends that have AEW fucking paychecks, and I'm happy for them. But I've also said, save your money. Get paid while you can. Save your money. Invest. One person, and I know I've skipped over this numerous times, and I've always wanted to mention this. One person that was smart about everything, and I'm not sure if he's still under AEW contract or not. I would have to double check. Jora Joel.
Who?
Jora Joel. Used to go by Robo the Punjabi Lion.
Yes.
If he took his AEW paycheck and he invested in a it's like a mom and pop type like hot dog restaurant in northern Mass that's been around for like years. Like it has a lineage of like over 50 years. And he bought it outright and owns that and runs it now. He took his money and he invested into something for the future that has sustainability. He was smart. People need to be more like him because eventually this train's going to come into the station and there ain't no roundhouse.
Right.
Get paid while you can because it's not going to last forever. And the problem is also is the people who aren't on TV on a regular basis, it's going to be kind of hard for them to get seen on another televised product. I'm sure if TNA continues on its upswing, they'll have a little bit of wiggle room to bring in some people, and that'll be good. The people that are on TV, you're suffering a worse fate because you're going to have the stink of this company's failure on you, and WWE is not going to want to touch you. I legit feel sorry for Swerve. Because Swerve could be this main event player in WWE someday, but the longer he's fucking portrayed the way he is, the lower his stock goes. Same with MJF, as I've said. Eventually the bill comes due, and it doesn't matter how much money the fucking owner has. If you ain't got TV, you ain't got shit.
So to transition into WWE, I want to reveal something that was announced this morning. PWI's 2023 award winners.
Oh, I thought.
For you.
Yeah, I only know the male of the year and the female of the year. I didn't see anything else.
Okay, I want you to notice a trend in the names being named here.
Okay.
Wrestler of the year, male wrestler of the year, Seth Rollins. Women's wrestler of the year, Rhea Ripley. Most popular wrestler of the year. Don't cringe. It goes with the theme.
I know.
Cody Rhodes. Faction of the year, the Judgment Day. Match of the year. Now this one kind of shocked me. Rhea versus Charlotte at WrestleMania.
And I can agree with that. I know there were a couple of contenders, but yeah, definitely.
Comeback of the year. Not in WWE, but Trinity. Most improved. L.A. Knight. Yeah. Rookie of the year. It's a hard one. The winner was Sol Ruka. It's a hard
She's
one.
hurt.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Indie Wrestler of the Year. Matt Cardona. You should have seen that one coming. Feud of the Year. Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline.
Nice.
Most hated of the year. You're going to cringe, but I have to laugh. Dominic Mysterio.
I mean, I was calling that before for a completely different reason.
The only award received by AEW signed talent. Actually, two awards. Mark Briscoe got the Inspirational Award. I think we all know why. And Tag Team of the Year. Just take a guess.
The Acclaimed.
Wrong.
FTR.
Yes. That's it. Everybody else is either current WWE talent or very recent WWE talent. Any questions?
Nope.
This is the Dave Meltzer Awards. This isn't the Wrestling Observer Kiss AEW's Ass Awards. No.
Right.
This is the PWI Awards.
Which were fan voted.
Correct. Voted by PWI readers. I rest my case. Show's over. Goodbye. Any hooser. All right. SmackDown. SmackDown opens with Grayson Waller makes his entrance. Solo and Jimmy are beating up Cameron Grimes. That's great. All just arrives, whatever, okay. Then Heyman comes out, he gets on the mic. So basically, the interrupt was supposed to be the opening match. Okay, that's what it was.
Yes.
Then Aldis comes out with the bloodline in the ring, says it can't ruin the main event because tonight it's going to be a 6-man tag: Styles, LA Knight, Orton against Solo, Jimmy, and Roman. Except Paul says, Heyman says Roman's not there. And Nick goes, oh, that's right. Well, then I guess if they can't find a third man, it'll be a handicap match. Okay. Then we come back. We get a video package for Santos. Sure, whatever. Come back from break. The Bloodline are trying to figure out what they're going to do. Sure, okay. Then we get the Mexican Wolves against Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. You know who the Mexican Wolves are, right?
Yeah, I'm the one that gave him that name.
Okay, good. Then Carlito. Why is Carlito coming out?
Because it's it's the LWO versus not the LWO.
Because fuck it. Why? Okay. Why? There had to be a reason. Why would he come out?
Because
because Santos was there.
Yeah.
Santos came out.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't see anything mentioning Santos here. So Carlito evens the odds, but Mexican Wolves still win by holding the ropes. Angel Garza held the ropes while pinning Joaquin Wilde. Then we get to Nick Aldis backstage chatting up with Carmelo Hayes with a SmackDown contract in front of Carmelo.
Right there.
Waller in theory interrupts.
He's right there.
Melo says he's sick of Waller. Be happy to beat him up again. But then Theory decides he's going to step up and take the match. Back from commercial, LWA walking backstage. Heyman asks Carlito basically if he tagged with the Bloodline. Carlito said fuck off, basically.
Right. Yeah.
We get a hype reel of Kevin Owens punching Logan Paul. Logan Paul saying he wants to sue for whatever. Fucking stupid. We come back from break. They show Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Technically Butch still
sitting at a bar
coffee shop. It wasn't whatever it was. It
was a high top in a bar or a coffee shop. Yeah.
Tyler basically saying that Butch needs to decide what name he's going to tell the world. So I think the Cruiserweight's coming back.
Yep, exactly. And once again, I am saying this right now. I'm putting on record. I've said this numerous times on a past episode, but WWE owes me fucking money if they come out with a Pete Dunne shirt on the back that says nobody's Butch. I've been saying they should have run with that for over a year. So if they put that shit, they owe me royalties. It's on here. It's on the YouTubes.
Can I make a bold prediction?
Yes, sir.
Just because I think this goes with the general direction of how things are going right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think look at your next tag team champions.
I don't know about tag team champions, but definitely formidable tag team.
I could see him putting him on Dunn and Bate. I could see that.
I think the next tag champions are going to be DIY. It's going to be DIY. Also, I still think we're going to get at Mania. We're going to get a 4-way fucking ladder match for the belts.
Could see that.
I think it's going to be Judgment Day, DIY, Street Profits, and AOP.
Okay. Then we get Bayley and Bianca. And Bianca wins with the KOD on Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
We get a KO promo, respond to Logan Paul's stupid lawsuit shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he announces that we're gonna the following week SmackDown we're gonna have Logan Paul as a guest on the Kevin Owens show. Yay!
Mm-hmm.
Come back from commercial. Bailey backstage with damage control. Then Lashley and the Profits come out. They're calling out AOP and Karrion Kross, but then there's just a video package that plays.
Cross's stable is the name has come out.
Final Testament.
Which Kross was wearing that shirt the week before and no one noticed.
It's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
Then they show Pretty Deadly bumping into Paul Heyman.
They said, we don't want none of that.
They're looking to get into the match, but there's only one spot, not two. And then Heyman says who the opponents are, and Pretty Deadly is like, "Oh, fuck off." Mello makes his entrance before they go to break. We come back from break. Heyman's trying to get Lashley to help. Lashley says, "Fuck off." No contest between Theory and Hayes.
That was a scary spot.
Yeah.
Luckily, they're both okay.
So basically, Mello was sitting on the top turnbuckle. Theory was looking to do his weird ass like springboard Spanish fly kind of move.
Yeah.
Except, let's just say,
he missed.
Mello mostly flipped ish, and Theory didn't flip at all.
Yeah.
So it was basically a scary back bump for Theory and
No, they both landed on their heads.
Oh, Theory did. I thought Theory took more of a back bump, honestly.
Yeah, no, because Theory didn't get the full rotation, and so they both went straight down.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, luckily, protocol right there. Doctors just called it off. They didn't even bother trying to think, and they were just like, "Let's just be safe." So good on the doctors, and luckily they're both okay. That could have been really fucking scary, especially with two of the most promising fucking young guys they have on the roster.
Right. Then backstage, Heyman says he's asked everyone, can't find a third man. Solo says, "Fuck this shit, we'll do it ourselves." And then they get the shit beat out of them by Styles, Knight, Norton, and RKO on Uso to win.
Jimmy takes the pin. Keeps Solo looking strong.
After the match, Solo goes to attack Orton. Styles hits a phenomenal forearm. Then Knight hits the BFT. Then an RKO. And then they smash Uso into the steel steps. And then they kind of sort of ish do the shield power bomb through a table on Solo. And that's the end of the show. So yeah, I mean they're doing what they can to build up Logan versus KO, obviously.
Which they kind of already screwed the pooch, because there was an interview this the past 2 days, and we kind of already know that Logan's retaining because because they just started laying the seeds for Logan versus LA Knight at Mania.
Oh, great.
So that'll be LA Knight's big moment, because they can't. Obviously, they want to keep Logan. They want to have Logan on Mania for the views. So obviously they want to keep a belt on him till then, but they can't do it much longer because Logan's getting kind of questioned again on some of his business practices.
Oh, great.
Because there was like the scandal with the gold Prime bottle that just happened, and a couple other things. So they're basically just trying to tread water, but they want to have him there. And obviously that'll give LA Knight his big moment with his big mid-card title win.
Well, please hold. So now I'm trying to find the article referring to somebody from SmackDown real quick.
Okay.
So
there was also go ahead. I was just going to kibitz, but go ahead.
So 2 SmackDown superstars were in Perth, Australia, promoting Elimination Chamber this week. LA Knight and Grayson Waller.
Yep. For those of us who are a bit older, we said, "Hey, we've seen this before."
So they're appearing on the Sunrise, on the various shows on the Sunrise. I'm guessing Sunrise Network. That. Hello. So they were doing an interview that didn't go as planned, as one of the show's presenters asked LA Knight to hit a signature move on someone who was leaving the station that week.
Mm-hmm.
Knight turned down the offer to do so and then turned things over to Waller, who then was greeted by the person and put his fists up in a joking manner. The employee did this. Then Cena's music hit in the studio, which Waller didn't appreciate. Waller told the person he wouldn't give him a fake punch, but that the police were going to have to come to the studio. He threatened to punch him in the jaw because of the disrespect that he showed him. While Waller noted he had issues with one of the hosts, he didn't have an issue with Natalie Barr because she didn't disrespect him.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie Barr, I guess, was the other host of the show. So, yeah. There's that. So thankfully, Grayson was cool enough to not actually hit somebody. But I mean, listen.
This gives flashbacks, don't it?
Which one?
Iraq.
Oh, Vader and Taker?
Yeah.
Or you could have done what was the
David Schultz and Stone Phillips.
What's the one with Richard Meltzer?
Richard Belzer and Hogan. Yeah.
All right.
Those were the three.
Listen.
Depending on your age, you remember all three of those.
Listen. It's 2024.
Mm-hmm.
How are people in the media still this fucking stupid?
You'd be amazed.
Like,
you'd be amazed, dude.
Like, I'm not saying you have to be a wrestling fan or even like wrestling or like. And this is coming from somebody that's in media. I work in radio.
I know.
Okay. When you were doing an interview, it's called show prep.
Mm-hmm.
You would think these people have enough common sense to at least do a little bit of homework about the sport and the people they're about to have on the show represent the sport before you say or ask dumb shit like that.
Well, plus, see, dude, that's the problem. See, like, so you come from a radio background where you do show prep. These morning shows, these morning talk show segments and yada, yada, that's where they stick people who don't know how to do shit like show prep. That is the same basis as far as like news media goes. And this is just from past experience and talking to people in the industry and everything. That's like where they'll take someone who's been on the desk for X amount of years, but can't hack it as a reporter anymore. So they give them the fluff job, like being the local movie critic, where it doesn't require anything. And they just go off there and by the seat of their pants, they don't actually do the prep like this. So they take these people who are there just to be a pretty face and just to do the fluff questions. And they're just like, whatever. And so they think they can ad lib and get away with this shit. And then you get shit like this.
There's no professionalism at all.
I agree. I agree.
All right. Was there something else you were going to tell before we move on to Raw?
No. We can keep going.
Okay. Monday Night Raw.
I will say one thing before we start.
What's that?
People are stupid.
Well, I mean, we've established that numerous times on this show, but go ahead.
Hey, my shirt for the day.
I hate people. Was that it? I hate people.
Yeah, I hate people. Yeah. So, for those people that don't realize, there was a blizzard that went through Arkansas. To the fact where I have this. I can put up for it. This was afterwards. But Triple H thanking everyone for helping shovel out. That's literally the pile of snow in front of the entrance to the Simmons Bank Arena.
I think DIY even put out like a pretty funny video about their adventures getting to the arena that night.
Yeah. And like, it was funny too, because like you could tell like during the course of the show, like because they're in Arkansas, like they don't have, there's like no central heating in the building because it doesn't get that cold. And like, so like people are cutting promos and they can see their breath because there was no heat in the arena. There was so much snow on the roof that they had to worry about, the weight and everything. And as someone who lives in Connecticut, For a lot of people that don't know, back when the Hartford Whalers were a thing, eons ago, the XL Center used to be the Hartford Civic Center, and back in the 70s, I believe, there was a blizzard that was so bad that the entire roof of the Hartford Civic Center collapsed.
There actually used to be a professional hockey team based out of that arena.
Yeah, that's why I said the Whalers.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. It was during like the time the Whalers run there, like when it collapsed, like it was like the day of a game.
There's also the case where the Minneapolis Superdome, back when the Vikings were still playing in an indoor stadium that they shared with the Minnesota Twins, ripped because of a snowstorm.
Right. But so because of the amount of snow on the roof and because of just the weather conditions in general, they had to improvise for this show. So they had to use the house show setup, which is a little like, and the thing is that, like, props to WWE. The current house show setup is very different from the way it used to look even 5-10 years ago. It still looks close to the TV setup, but it's scaled down. So they had to use the house show setup, which is why you saw the scaffolding on the two sides that people had to walk through instead of the giant, like the way the screen usually is.
Right.
And the lighting was done like using the house lighting and everything. They had to improvise because of the weather. But everyone online is a moron. They're going, oh, look, it's a new setup of Raw. It looks like shit. No, it was the house show setup. That and the fact that all of the AEW basement goblins were like, yeah, look, they had to break out the tarps and they barely drew because there was a fucking blizzard. People didn't leave their house. And they still drew like 5,000.
So they still drew more than 90% of AEW shows.
Exactly. But yeah, they said they had to like they had to group everyone, and they tarped off. They did the tarped off the hard cam side and put everyone there. But I mean, it was they had to make do with what they had. The thing was, the tickets were sold. So for anyone that wants to dunk on that whole thing with Wembley and how X amount is sold versus the gate, well, guess what? You can't have it both ways.
Right. Show opens with Cody and Drew. So it looks like we're going to get a Cody and Drew match.
Somewhere, yeah. This is my guess is Drew's going to eliminate Cody from the Rumble, and I'm going to laugh my motherfucking ass off.
And they even dropped a reference to the one match they had against each other right before... I want to say this is right before Drew got signed back to WWE.
Yep.
Which was in England for, this is a fucking flashback, WCPW. If you don't know what WCPW was, go look it up. I'm not going to bother giving them the time of day.
Yeah.
So after this, the in-ring segment between them, backstage, Priest confronts R-Truth over selling bootleg Judgment Day merch. Truth gives Priest a wad of cash as his cut.
Yep.
And then Truth asks what's going on with Tom and Nick Mysterio.
And it's funny how many people didn't catch that last week. I was like, yeah, he said Tom and Nick Mysterio, not Dom and Nick Mysterio.
Damien tells him to keep quiet and don't tag in their match tonight. Okay.
And Kid Truth's like, I got you with the wink.
So then we get DIY versus Dom and JD. But DIY wins.
JD needs to either get different gear or get back to the gym.
Right. Then they show footage. Yeah,
but I want to mention that I was very happy to see it. It was genuine. There were genuine Johnny Wrestling chants from the crowd. And this is awesome chants from the crowd. It took a little bit. It was a slow burn, but Trips got DIY to where they need to be with the audience. Correct. And I'm glad that it finally caught up.
Then we get footage from earlier the day. Candice and Indy meeting with Adam Pearce when Chelsea Green and Piper Niven interrupt. They demand a rematch for the tag titles. Pierce says fuck off, but you can face these two.
Yeah, he's like, you got one last week and you failed, so you can face them.
And then we get Candice and Indy beating them.
And good on commentary for mentioning the history of Candice and Indy being part of the way with Johnny and Dexter and all that.
And I think they even did that as part of their entrance too, the whole hands thing.
Yeah.
So, then we get a commercial break. We get a little hype reel for Nia Jax. Then we show Rhea. Priest walks in. Finn asks where he's been. Priest says he talked to Adam Pearce about taking care of Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
JD asks why they're not taking care of R-Truth, which leads to Priest pulling out his wad of cash and telling them to go get their cut of the cash.
Yep.
JD asks if he gets a cut. Priest says probably not.
Because you're not part of the judgment day, according to Drew.
So, okay. Imperium comes out. Gunther announces he's entering the Rumble match. Then they show Kaiser injuring Kofi the previous week.
Mm-hmm.
Woods is back.
Mm-hmm.
Has a problem with Kaiser.
Mm-hmm.
So basically this leads to a match.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaiser wins by DQ.
Because Woods threw a fucking office chair at him.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing well in making Kaiser a dastardly heel, and they're doing well in injecting a little bit of life back into Woods and Kofi.
Mm-hmm.
But I have something to talk about later on that. Let's leave that at the door for now and keep going.
Then Bronson cuts a promo.
Bronson cuts the promo that Shinsuke was cutting a month ago.
Great.
There's a champion who doesn't know that I'm coming for them. No one cares. Fat Andrade needs to go away.
Woods is about to be interviewed, but then Kaiser attacks and beats him down until Jey Uso makes the save.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Akira Tozawa beating Ivar.
Okay. Now here's something I want to talk about, because once again, people on Twitter who don't understand shit, because someone wanted to compare Joe versus Hook to Tozawa versus Ivar. And they're like, oh, but Tozawa could beat Ivar. Yeah, here's the reason. That match had outside fuckery between the two females, followed by Tozawa getting a squeaked in fucking roll up fluke victory and running out of the ring right afterwards. Because that is how you book an underdog upset victory.
Yes.
In the long run, it's not going to mean anything, because Tozawa is probably going to get annihilated within the next 2 weeks. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Ivar takes Tozawa and does the Bam Bam Bigelow Spike Dudley spot with him in the Rumble and just throws him into the fucking front row.
That'd be pretty fucking hilarious, actually. After the match, Valhalla attacks Maxine. Ivar hits the moonsault on Tozawa. Fucking moonsault! Jesus,
I know.
fuck!
They're calling it the Doom Salt.
Oh,
fuck. Dude, did you see the
stupid?
stupidity that Vince Russo put out?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff he puts out. What is it?
His newest thing is, he said if they want this gimmick to get over, that Valhalla needs to stop shaving her pits and legs.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Hi, Vince Russo. Hi. Practicing pagan here. Which is what Sarah Logan and her husband are. Just because they are portraying Vikings does not mean that she needs to have hairy pits and legs. That is not a staple of it. And actually, if you were to study Norse tradition, the women in Norse tradition were actually some of the first to actually shave their pits and legs. The men kept the beards. The women did not. So pick up a fucking history book, put down your male chauvinistic book, because the only woman you've ever fucked is the woman you married, and shut the fuck up. Continue.
Did they really show the CM Punk Instagram post saying that he wanted to meet Cody in the ring next week?
I think so.
Oh, fucking
because they advertised CM Punk meets Cody in the ring as part of before the end of the show.
Sweet. Back from commercial, Alpha Academy and Diamond Mine are consoling Maxine Dupree.
Mind you, Alpha Academy and fucking and Ivy, no creeds.
Why don't they just combine into one big Alpha Academy?
Well, they're going to, but the thing was, there was no creeds. Trips is not letting the creeds on TV. It's wonderful.
Ivy Doll says she'll go to Adam Pearce and make sure Valhalla pays for it. Gable says next week he'll teach Ivar a lesson. So looks like we had 2 matches coming out of that or something like that.
Yep. Which Sarah will pull a good match out of Ivy Nivell. That's the thing is people don't realize Sarah's a halfway decent hand. Like,
right.
She'll pull a good match out of Ivy.
Rhea comes out, talks shit about Nia, but then Becky comes out. Rhea says how she wants to see Becky at Mania, and that's it.
I want to say that entire segment, very well produced. You got genuine emotion out of Rhea and Becky, and it was whatever happens. I don't know if it's going to happen before that because I feel like it's going to be a foregone conclusion going into Australia, but Rhea's turning babyface by the end of Mania.
Probably.
And this promo kind of showed it because it showed a humanity to Rhea. It showed Becky's whole thing of, I need to beat you. Rhea saying, I hope you're the one to face. You know what? It gave me Shawn versus Taker vibes. From
which incantation of Shawn versus Taker?
That span of both years where Shawn said, I need to beat Taker.
Oh, the second incantation. Okay.
So going into the first time, it was
the Shawn 2 Mania matches.
Right, the 2 Mania matches. That entire that span of about 14 months because it was originally.
You don't want to know where my brain went originally.
Right. No, because it was originally Shawn saying, I need to beat Taker. I need to take the streak. And then after he didn't, and then when they revisited and he said, I know I can beat you and I need to do this. That's the level of what I feel like Becky and Rhea is building to, which is good.
Why. My brain originally went to 97, 98 Shawn and Taker. That was fucking stupid. Sorry.
Oh.
My mind went to Hell in a Cell, Royal Rumble. Oh, my bad. I don't know. I don't know why I went there. Then they have Seth interviewed backstage. He talks about being champ for over 200 days now, being the workhorse, Jinder, go to break. Then we get Awesome Truth against Judgment Day.
Truth comes out, fucking like a whole bunch of fake $100 bills come out of his pocket, and then he gives it to Finn, and he's like, here's your cut. And then the whole thing was because Damian told him not to tag in, but Truth started the match. So fucking Miz was on the apron and Truth wasn't going to tag him. And it was the whole like he punches Finn and not Finn, and he's like, I'm sorry. It was comedy, but it was good.
Match ends with Damian hitting South of Heaven and Finn pinning R-Truth.
Yeah, because Damian just loses it, gets pissed, gives him a South of Heaven, but then afterwards it showed Damian kind of feeling bad.
Right.
And I'm like, do not turn Damian babyface because no one wants to see it.
And they have Jinder Mahal being interviewed backstage. Then they come back from commercial and Shinsuke cuts a promo about Cody.
Yeah, he basically says, we're done when I say I'm done.
We got Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark winning by submission over Natalya and Tegan Knox, with Shayna submitting Natalya.
Not a good match.
I mean, what'd you expect?
Mm.
I'm going to throw out a very harsh opinion right now.
Okay.
I think Natalya knows she can wrestle, but she picks and chooses when to.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not even sure if that's really a new opinion that I just come to the conclusion about, or if it's just an old opinion I haven't really thought hard enough about till now. Like that's literally where I'm at with it right now. Like, I feel like, for example, when they give her those one-off matches, like the sudden one-off match she had for the fucking NXT title, or not the NXT title, but she had against fucking Cora Jade on NXT. The random one-off match she had with the fucking the random one-offs that she's had before with like fucking Becky or who else? Fucking
with Rhea, like with
Rhea.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's a natty I know. Okay, but then there's other matches where I'm just like, what the fuck is she doing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree.
Jinder comes out with Into Share. Congratulations on calling that one.
Yeah, and I'm glad. Like the second I'm like, good. I was like, that we can have something here now.
Then we get blah blah blah. Trying to fast forward. David Priest goes down with the Money in the Bank briefcase before they go to the first commercial.
And sits down next to the announce table.
Right. Later on, we get Drew showing up to brawl with Damian Priest.
Yeah, he comes over the barricade and gets in his face because Priest was like, basically there was a double down during the match, and Priest was like, "Ooh,
okay, hang on, hang on." So, why are they booking Drew like a Samoa Joe?
They're booking Drew as a tweener.
But they're having him do it. But it kind of correlates to how they were booking Joe with MJF, where Joe was protecting the title on MJF so he could be the one that beat him for the title. And now they're kind of doing the same shit with Drew and Seth because Drew has consistently been preventing Damian from cashing in. I'm assuming because Drew wants to be the one that takes the title.
Yes and no. It's more of there's been dissension between Drew and Damian since Drew teamed with them at War Games. And it just keeps bubbling over to the fact where Drew just wants to fuck over Damian as much as possible because Drew wants to be the champion.
And they just had that match by now then? It's been almost 2 months.
It's a slow burn.
It's a really slow fucking burn.
Yeah, but I think it's because they realize that even when trying to flip Drew full heel, the crowd is still kind of behind him. So they want to keep, and so Drew's in that spot where Kevin Nash was in back in 94.
The one that talk like an asshole but act like a good guy.
Right.
So yeah.
He's in that spot where Nash was right after he dropped the title to Bret Hart.
Or how every NWO member was for 2 years. Just saying.
Yeah.
Like the original NWO members.
Yeah.
Not any of the jerk-offs that eventually joined. Like Hogan, Hall, Nash are the main thing I'm talking about.
Right.
Anyway, Seth retains.
It was a solid match. It gave those moments of shit. Could they do this? Because I know a lot of fucking people are like, they're gonna put this fucking belt back on Jinder, and I mean, there was a little like they could have Trips could have booked Jinder to win in a fucked finish and just have the rematch at the Rumble and Seth get it back, and it would have been fine. Like honestly, no one could have complained.
When Edge cashed in the original Money in the Bank at New Year's Revolution, then lost
on
it
fucking Cena. Yeah, but I mean, so they very well. Right. Yeah, I know. So they could have done it that way. I think now what they'll do is they'll do Jinder versus Seth again at Rumble anyways, and we'll see where we go from there. Obviously, and I think this is how they could do Jinder versus Seth too. Seth could still go over, but Jinder still looks like he belongs in that picture. So that way Jinder is someone you can plug into that extra spot in the Elimination Chamber. So I think he's going to ride this for a while.
Okay.
And that's a good thing. And one of the things that did come out of it was apparently, as far as views comes from the show, apparently there was a big uptick in viewers in India who watched Raw on Monday.
Gee, I wonder why.
Well, because that's the thing. Because I forget. I watched a YouTube video breaking down Jinder's first title reign, and how like they were basically they were pandering to getting more subscriptions to the network in India at the time. And when it was all said and done, like it only garnered like an extra like 2,000 subscriptions. So I never really came out to anything. But so for it to get that uptick is actually, pretty good in the meantime. Also, I do want to mention, because the ratings came out for Raw. Now, mind you, Raw was going up against 2 NFL playoff games and the Emmys.
Yes.
So that was a stacked fucking night to fucking go up against. And they still managed to pull out 1.4 million. So not the greatest, but considering what they were going up against, people were expecting them to do pretty badly. They actually, I gotta hand it to them for getting as many viewers as they did.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good on them for that. But
all right.
But so there's something I wanted to say. I said that I was gonna go back on that I wanted to mention afterwards.
Okay.
Just a little bit of fantasy booking going into Mania season.
Okay.
That I think there's a couple of points I want to hit. So there was an interview that someone had that just happened with John Cena, where he said, "I don't know how much time I have left in WWE. Like, there's not much time left for me."
Yeah, hang on. I have the exact quote here. Hang on. I have. I turned 47 this past year. It was an interview with People magazine.
Yes.
I turned 47 this past year and don't have much time left in the WWE. I'm trying to figure out when to close that chapter. I wouldn't be who I am professionally or personally without the WWE. And I promised myself that I would never simply just be there for my own sake. Every time I perform, I want to give my all to the audience. And I got to admit, when I hit the 45 mark, I had to begin to try to form an exit strategy. And I'm trying to work on that currently. I just want to do what's best for the company. If it's a big final match, or if it's just a final match, or however I can be integrated in the product to let everyone know that this chapter is over, I'm willing to listen to what WWE has to say.
So this is what I think. I think we'll see Cena at Mania this year.
Okay.
Who he faces, I'm still considering. However, what I do believe is we will see Cena in Australia. What I believe will be one of the selling points, and to get things really rolling, is we will see Solo and Jimmy against Rock and Cena. Because Rock is advertised for Australia, supposedly. He's been on some of the graphics.
Right.
We know it's not going to be Rock versus Roman at Mania, at Perth. We know it's not. Right. It's going to happen at Mania.
Right, because Roman's not even going to be there.
Right. So that will be the lead-in, and it very well could be, and that it plugs in for Cena to be able to get revenge on Solo. So they could very well do Cena Solo 2 at Mania if they wanted. But this will be the lead-in. You can do Rock and Cena against Bloodline, have Jimmy take the pin, so Solo still looks strong, but then work towards Mania as that. So I think we're going to get that as far as Australia to Mania goes for that portion. The other thing I want to mention is this is a little bit of high hopes, but I don't know if you've seen it, but there was there were the tapings this week for next week's episodes of the Drew Barrymore show.
I already know where you're going to go with this. Yeah.
I think what we're seeing with New Day and Imperium is leading towards Big E coming back in the Rumble, eliminating Gunther, and building towards E versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title at Mania. That's wishful thinking, but I think logically, I think that's the road we're heading down.
As someone who has numerous times mentioned the name Big E and trying to push the narrative of him coming back, I'd be all for that. Yeah, I could see that. I also want to throw out a possibility.
Yes.
That has zero to do with current storytelling in WWE. but I
Mhm.
want to throw it as a possibility for Cena, just because it's somebody he trusts, it's somebody he's worked with a number of times, and I think it would be a very touching way for him to go out.
Mhm.
You know where I'm going with this?
Orton.
Yes.
Mhm. Now I'm gonna have too many cooks stuck in my head all day.
Why was Orton not somebody you were thinking of before?
No, not that, but it was just, it was, no, it was this thing that happened. Like, have you ever seen the Adult Swim video, Too Many Cooks?
Yes.
So someone took, because you know the song that gets stuck in your head. Someone took the Too Many Cooks song and used it at one point to show all of the times Cena and Orton have faced each other with all the graphics and
Oh
shit.
Jesus.
So yeah, so every time it's like Cena and Orton part 87 of Too Many
Yeah.
Cooks, Too Many Cooks.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean, if it wasn't Adam, I guess Randy would be the next most logical.
Yeah. But yeah, I
But,
think,
but you know, I like your option though.
Yeah.
Of Solo, because
Mhm.
maybe then they could tell the fucking story the right way this time.
Right.
So I mean, that sounds feasible to me. I could see that.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, because I'm personally up against it. We're gonna run through NXT, but I want to begin with a case of good news, bad news for one NXT star.
Mhm.
Good news, Cora Jade, you're single again. You're no longer dating Braun Breaker. Good for you. Bad news, you suffered a torn ACL over the weekend. So
And
fuck.
here's the thing. So they're rewriting on TV how that happened. Because at the house show, she got injured in a match with Lyra Valkyria. It was her own
Right.
fault.
Right.
On TV, they said that she was injured by Ren Sinclair, who is Maddie Renkowski, who is officially signed now.
Right. Right.
They said that when she was entering the Battle Royal, and they're like, she was in a match with Ren Sinclair and got injured. I'm like, no, she was in a match with Lyra.
You can't change what the dirt sheets and Sean
Fucking Sean.
doesn't. That's not how.
I know. Moving on.
Okay. I don't think Sean knows how. Remember the picture. Remember the different pictures over time that have shown Shawn Michaels in front of computers on WWE TV.
Smashing, yeah.
Like the one where they show him doing the AOL chat room from like '96, and then I think there was a DX one with him and Hunter at one point.
Yep.
And then I think there was one from like NXT a few years ago with him. Yep. That's literally how I picture Sean in front of a computer. Like that's not a fucking joke. I think that's serious now.
Yep. Sean using Grok to book fucking NXT.
Oh. Honey, what's Gmail? Jesus fucking Christ. How does his wife deal with it? Anyways, we start with a Dusty Classic first round match. Inoue and Blade against Trick and Mello. Trick and Mello get the win with Trick pinning Malik Blade.
I based on the presentation of that match, I fucking guarantee you that just a few weeks ago, Sean told Malik and Blade that they were going to make it to the fucking finals of this thing to fucking push them, and then just decided fuck it. Because why would you buy Dusty fucking expired gear for one fucking match on free TV?
I have no answer for you.
Sean fucked him again.
Fallon Henley backstage interview, talking about the Battle Royal later. Sure, great.
Mm-hmm.
We come back from break. They show Elektra and Lola walking backstage, talking about the Battle Royal. Blah blah
and
blah.
Then, boom! I pop up from behind blinds because I'm Dakota Kai. I mean, I'm this. I mean, I'm that. I'm sick of this gimmick.
Tatum Paxley appears in the window to be creepy, says she's going to win and not challenge Lyra Valkyria because no one gets near her champion. Jesus Christ.
Yep. It was terrible.
Then they bring out Omos Jr.
Oh, hold on. I got a clip. Here's every fucking Obafemi fucking promo. I figured it out.
Oh God.
Yumma, 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 yumma. Yumma, 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 yumma. Yumma, 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 yumma.
Hey, don't let this voodoo mumbo jumbo scare you.
Yumma, 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 yumma. Yumma, 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 yumma. Fools. They can kill the brother of Badula.
I never thought that.
Wolf, that I could reach into the belly of a yak and rip out his heart?
That would bring him back to life?
No, man. I'm hungry.
Yama, yama, yama.
Okay.
It's either that or he's fucking M'Baku from fucking Black Panther.
So he's talking about Nigerian.
They made him into a bitch.
D1 athlete. Okay, sure.
They said exactly what I said last week. First NIL fucking signee to win a title. The exact reason I said they put that fucking belt on him. So they could show that the NIL wasn't a complete fucking flop.
Dragon Lee comes out.
Says he wants a rematch, and Obafemi says no.
Open challenges are now closed.
Yeah, so they just took Big Monster and turned him into a bitch.
And Femi, so Dragon Lee says he wants a rematch at Vengeance Day, and Femi says
maybe, yeah. Well, actually, Dragon Lee said he wanted a rematch at Venice Day.
Thanks, Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Eddie Thorpe chilling backstage, talks about being Dijak. Trey Bearhill rolls up to thank him.
Because Sean goes, "Hey, Native Americans, we're gonna put you together. Look, you're Strongbow and Wahoo. Go have fun." What?
Nothing. Then Dijak is being Dijak, and
Dijak gets in Bearhill's face, and Bearhill says, "We'll have a match later."
Okay. Then they show Lyra Valkyria entering, and Tatum Paxley is dressed exactly like her.
Yep.
I don't know whether to be creeped out by this angle, or I don't fucking know anymore.
It's single white female all over again. I'm sick of this fucking story, no matter who's doing it.
They go to break after the entrance. They come back from commercial, so Trick and Melo in the locker room. Ilya comes in, says he's clear to compete, and he'll give Trick his NXT title shot at Vengeance Day. And Melo did not seem exactly happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's when the Dusty Cup finals are supposed to be. Hey.
Right. So this way they can have Trick and Melo lose the Dusty Cup and then have Trick lose twice in one night. And then he can blame Melo. So that way they can do Trick versus Melo, even though Melo should just be on the fucking main roster by now and not fucking concerning himself with this bullshit.
And then they'll put Trick over Melo at Mania weekend.
And that will be bullshit.
I had to finish the storyline for you. We come back. Lyra and Tatum beat Lopez and Lola. Lola and Elektra have a full. Oh wait, that's later. Never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. Mm-hmm. Then there's a bunch of women in the locker room. Ariana Grace, just
terrible segment.
Right. Then we get Ridge Holland beating Joe Coffey. Fuck me sideways.
Yep. Poor Joe Coffey. Former NXT fucking UK champ. Nope.
Then Gallus comes in post-match, beats up Ridge. Good. Yay. Thank God.
So now Ridge is going to find fucking allies. Yeah.
No one's coming to help. Good.
Not
Fuck.
this time, but sure enough in the future. So we get Gallus. Let's just keep putting the UK guys against each other because Sean can't figure anything else out to do.
Then we get an NXT Anonymous video showing JC Jane trying to figure out shit for raising money.
I told you she got to turn Chase U into a strip club.
Okay. Go to break. Come back. Kalani Jordan talking about the fucking Battle Royal, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Corbin gets interviewed backstage, and we got the Wolf Dogs.
Terrible.
Braun talking about thinking about Corbin in the shower and just Jesus fucking Christ.
It was so fucking awful. It was just so awful. Just no. And these guys are gonna win the fucking Dusty Cup. That's what's so fucking sad.
I've got a name for them.
Dick Wolfwiener.
No, one of my name for Braun and Baron.
What?
Hair Club for Men.
Right.
So then we get I'm an asshole.
Dick Wolfwiener.
Then we get the final Dusty Cup first round match. Chase U, represented by Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne against.
Yeah, they yanked Andre Chase from it and put in the rookie.
Great. Cruz Del Toro and Joaquin Wild from the LWO. LWO wins.
So going into the semifinals, we have one legitimate tag team in the Dusty Cup, and all the rest are all makeshift teams.
Then Adriana Rizzo's backstage talking about how she's worried about the Battle Royal. She gets a pep talk from Tony D and Stax,
which was awful.
Dijak beats Trey Bearhill,
which was awful. Well, no,
Gacy's on commentary.
Yeah, Gacy pops up like Gazoo, doing commentary during the match. They go to the outside. Dijak turns to the fucking table and tells fucking Booker T to shut the hell up. And he tells fucking Vic Joseph to shut the hell up. And then he turns and tells Gacy to shut the hell up. And Gacy stands up and headbutts him in the face.
Have you heard what Booker says lately whenever Braun comes out for a match?
Besides no water, no bread, just meat.
Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about.
I hate that shit.
Why?
Because it's stupid. It's
not why do you hate it, but just why?
That's what I mean. It's I hate it. Like it makes no sense. It's Booker trying to get a fucking slogan over that's not going to get over.
Stick to shucky ducky quack quack and move on. How about that?
Right, seriously. But so fucking Dijak goes over Bear Hill, and then fucking Gacy comes and attacks Dijak. They fight off, and then Lexus King appears to attack Bear Hill again, so they can continue that bullshit instead of having Lexus King as your fucking North American champion right now.
I was going to say and continue burying Lexus, but that's about the same thing.
They're not burying him, but like I would be a lot happier with
Lexus. Him working against Eddie Thorpe and Trey Bearhill burying him.
No, because obviously.
Oh God.
Okay, so I want you to think about it this way. Dijak is there to help the younger guys look better. They know what Pillman Jr.'s in-ring ability is. He's been working on his character. In the meantime, they want him to do the same. What?
WWE doesn't want him being called Pillman Jr.
I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, so you read that same interview too?
Oh, yes, I read it. Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
I know. But so this is how they're basically marrying Dijak and Pillman to the Native American boys because they already married Dijak and Thorpe. They're marrying them together to do some tag team shit. So that way it can help the Native American boys get over. Dijak will eventually go back to the fucking main roster and maybe take fucking Lexus King with him because obviously Lexus King he's got the in-ring down. He's obviously got the character development down in record time. So you know something? Cup of coffee in NXT, go up to the main roster, use him to his ability.
Tatanka, meet Tatanka. You are now team.
Strongbone Wahoo.
Then we get this backstage segment between Briggs and JBL.
Which I liked. Even though it was a rehash of everything JBL said when he named Briggs to go into the fucking Iron Survivor fucking tournament. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, so he's like, okay, show everyone the real Josh Briggs. And I'm like, that's what I've been saying for the past 2 years. Stop doing this fake cowboy bullshit.
So we come back from commercial and get a hype reel Remind me again. No quarter catch crew. Isn't that the fucking Drew
Gulak, Dempsey, Damon Kemp,
Right.
and the fucking young boy whose name I can never remember.
Right. Thank you. Okay, I want to make sure I was right. Then they show Trick and Mello talking backstage. Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Then that's when they announced the Cora Jade injury before the Battle Royal.
And they show fucking Maddie Rankowski there, like getting into the ring and said she's the one that injured her. And I went, no, she didn't.
And this is when Lola and Elektra had their fucking
falling out.
They're falling out. So Lola throws out Elektra, then Tatum Paxley throws out Lola, and then Lola and Elektra go at it on the outside. Okay.
Right, because the whole thing is Lola's been saying that, you know, Elektra's going to cash in and they're both going to be the fucking women's champion. Like, they're trying to lay cool that shit, and it's not going to work. So now it's like, okay, we'll split. And the whole thing is the problem going into this is obviously we're going to get go through the finish of this, and then we'll talk.
So the final four is Roxanne Perez, Kalani Jordan, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James, I think?
James, yep.
So, wait, did this turn into basically a fatal four-way at the end?
Yeah, remember, it was the Battle Royal, so they get down to the last four, and then it becomes a fatal four-way match.
Because, you know, let's have a fatal four-way right after a 20-woman Battle Royal. Sean, fucking Sean. I can't move the match next week. Nope. Do it now. Do it now, Crown. Do it now, Clown. Maybe a bicycle, Clown. So
I just want a bicycle.
I can't do that. It involves a lot of balloons. Make it now, Clown. Roxanne Perez eventually picks up the win by hitting pop rocks on Kalani Jordan.
And so here's the story they're going with. So remember how Sean's been treating Roxanne like shit ever since she dropped the belt?
Yeah.
So now the story that they're going with is Roxanne Perez going into Vengeance Day, going for the belt that she was never pinned for. That's the story they're rolling with. Because remember, they made
Roxanne. Is this story, Ben?
Exactly, because remember they did the bullshit injury with Roxanne to strip her from the belt to put it up in the ladder match at Stand and Deliver, which they then put her in, but she didn't win. And then ever since then, she's been jobbing to everyone left and right. So it doesn't fucking matter that she was never pinned for the fucking title because she's been pinned by everyone under the fucking sun in the past 6 months. Or if she hasn't been pinned, she's won, and then you've switched the decision and had her DQ'd. So now, so the whole thing is, she wins. Lyra comes in, they look at each other, they shake hands. So, oh boy, we've got a babyface versus babyface match at Vengeance Day, which means one of two things. Either they're going to flip Roxanne heel for no reason and make her lose again, or they're going to pull bullshit where stupid ass fucking greenhorn bitch is going to come in with her goddamn contract and make it a fucking three-way. Go ahead.
You know what the storylines give me nothing of the feel, but I think I have a feeling what this is starting to ooze a little bit. Oh, fuck me. Was it a singles match or was it a three-way? Remember the SummerSlam women's title match with Charlotte, Becky, or was it just a singles match?
With the Money in the Bank cash-in?
No, it was Charlotte versus, I want to say it was Charlotte. Maybe it was a singles match. Charlotte versus Becky. Charlotte wins. They shake hands, and then Becky attacks her, and that was kind of like her launching point.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that, except Roxanne.
Which is probably what Sean's going to do, because Sean is stuck in the Full Sail bubble of thinking that crowd of 400 people are that this is going back to sample audience is not your main audience bullshit. because a bunch of people there don't like Roxanne because she doesn't hang around and pal around with the fucking marks after the show. So automatically that means we got to boo her.
Yeah, basically. So
Like, no, Roxanne deserves way the fuck more. And remember, like, she was only supposed to be there for a little bit, and then they were going to strip her right to the main roster. She just needed some tuning because remember, she was ROH champ. They had her drop the ROH title in Impact, and then she went to NXT, and really, like, she was a fucking prodigy. And they were like, we're only going to hold on to her for a couple months and send her up. But then Sean went, nope, I don't like her because she's not blonde.
all right. So next week on episode 110, I'm going to present a pair of hypotheticals to Mr. Alexander. I was going to do it today, but I'm up
Running
against
short
it
on time.
Pair of hypotheticals revolving around AEW that I'm going to present to him.
Oh boy.
Which I'm going to be sure. I feel like it's better off this way anyways, because I feel like we need to have a discussion behind the scenes before we bring it to the podcast. About these came up with. Yeah, that too. Jesus Christ. By the way, just offer to pay him and he'll show up wearing your team's jersey, apparently.
Yep.
He's a Falcons fan. He's a Buccaneers fan. He's a whatever fan he wants to be, whatever you want to pay him, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that. Michigan fan too.
Mm-hmm.
I forget Michigan football.
Ric Flair will take your money.
Yeah. The last thing I want to present as a question, and it's WWE related.
Yes, sir.
Zac Efron, WrestleMania 40? Huh? Maybe? Huh?
I think he's already kind of stopped being so fucking cut.
Just throw it out there.
He could get back into that shape, but Iron Claw will already have been maybe.
Depends on how soon they get the negotiations done. How about that?
Maybe just a backstage segment.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I could see them doing something with him and Jeremy Allen White, and nobody seems to remember who the fuck the third Von Erich actor was. I can't either. So,
I don't remember who played him. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I was gonna go see it this week, and the fucking snow kept me home.
Maybe you have I could see the three of them doing something together. Possibly that would work. Yeah. All right. Unless you have something quick, I'm done.
No, yeah, I know we're pressed for time, so yeah.
By the way, see what cage match rated me? Nice. That being said, that does it for episode 109. I'm on the Twitter X thingamabobber at Brian Katie. He's at JJ_Alexander.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share this with your friends, share our social media. I know I've been busting my ass to get fucking new subscribers and shit and sharing this everywhere under the fucking sun.
Fuck yeah. That being said, JJ.
Yes, sir.
Say fuck wolf dogs.
Fuck wolf dogs.